Hello. Yeah. I'm awake. I'm doing my thing. Hopefully the Are the advertisements over yet? No, they're not, but for some reason there's another 30-second advertisement. Why the fuck is that happening? Oh well, that gives me time to make sure at least, like, the hands and all the major thingy-madiggies are working. Let's see. Is this working? Yeah! That's right. This is how it works. Let's go. Alrighty. Now. Yep, advertisement's over, and then I can move over to this screen. Hello, everyone. Happy Saturday. I might look a little bit different because, like, I'm using a different program entirely for doing my whole, what's-a-mahoozy, VTuber thing. Because I learned that there was a new one called, like, Nyan, or V-Nyan, I think it's how you pronounce it. So, it does some stuff with, like, the VTuber system, like, that VTuber Plus does that I personally like. For instance, like, it still has the multiple cameras, and I can do them via WebSocket, which is really cool for me because I don't have to have, like, 500,000, like, shortcut keys and be careful of one of them accidentally getting used or something, or rather, even though I have that option. How many cameras do I have to... Ow! Hi there, Hawaiian Pizza. Also, do I just have a pie, like, just stuck on my chest? Like, can this thing, like, get off? So I haven't done, like, any adjustment. So I haven't brought in... oh, actually, I should probably do that before I go too far. I should probably disable some of the thingy-madiggies. So, head pats, the rainbow effect, traffic cone. I'm gonna need to turn off some thingy. Oh yeah, the cactar. I need to turn that off as well before people use. So, cause I've gone to like a new VTuber thingy-madiggy. So some of the things they have like, you know, VTuber Plus had obviously, such as, like, you know, the pie dropping on the head and such like that. But some things they didn't, and the box doesn't have a noise, but some of these things have a noise, which I need to get working. All right, so is it StreamerBot? Hang on. StreamerBot is capturing StreamerBot, VTuber Plus, Twitch, speaker. Okay, so I need to put Nyan thingy-madiggy in there because, all right, now, hopefully... Okay, hang on. So I need to mute something real quick because I'm hearing it twice and I'm not really supposed to. Volume mixer, there we are. So, ow. Where is... There it is, VC face. There we go. So yeah, so I have like a new thingy-majiggy. You look more glossy than normal? Okay, so, because the way that's being done right now is through my ambient light. You won't see any of, like, because right now I have, like, a node graph I'm looking at right now, and, like, different settings. You won't, but I can open up light settings, and you don't see me, like, you don't see my window doing all that kind of nonsense, but I can change things, such as, like, the intensity. So, I can set this thing to 0. Oh, I can change the intensity of this camera, so I can be like, oh my goodness, that looks terrible. Look at my teeth. Ha 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 ha. Oh, that can be a cool new. If I can change the directional light, I will most certainly. If I can change my light settings, like with the node system, I am most certainly gonna make this like a spooky redeem. Hello, Yazin. Alrighty, let me up the intensity again. This was previously at 1, and I can turn on shadows. And so yeah, I can change lights here. Like I can make this like a deep, dark, and threatening red if I wanted to. And then there's ambient light where I can change that to like being like really effing bright right now. And then, hi Zapper. Is a zebra if he has no stripes? I have stripes though. All right, so I'm going to change the ambient. I'm going to put it down to, like, I'm going to say 0.5. Because the intention, because, like, right now the camera is, like, pointed directly at my face. I don't want to... The fuck was that? I did not check the list of, like, throwables that could be thrown at me. Hang on a second. What could be thrown at me? Hang on. So... Alright, so I know about the... So, a box and a sticky pie are things that can drop on my head. I think that's a whoopee cushion? Let's see. Sticky pie, snowball, a nut, duck, a confetti bomb, boba, and an apple. Ow. Doesn't really give a good view of, like, what's hitting me. Also, the box doesn't make a sound, which is a little bit annoying. So, I don't know, like, some things make noises, some of them don't. I would... Ow. I will most certainly need to, like, adjust my, what's-my-whoosies? What's the word I'm looking for? I will need to, like, adjust some of these objects and try and bring in some stuff that I used to have, such as the traffic cone, and bring it in here. So that's going to be a Unity fun, which I'm probably going to do tomorrow when I don't have anything to do, or even Monday, because Monday technically I'm not working. Cute. All right, Masonic's checking their cute rating. So yeah, most of these things work. Some of the interactions may not work, such as like the hydrate, but you know, I want to like try out this new system like now rather than much later, because they're using like a node graph in order to like do these different kinds of effects and such. Some of the stuff like, oh, some things don't have a proper noise, or it doesn't have all the items I want to throw. That is an easy enough fix because they've at least given the SDK. But I'm really curious about, say, for example, how much of their WebSockets can I use? Could I like try and make it so that everything I use is a WebSocket, so then that way I have like no shortcuts being done, so then that way whenever there come like redeems or some shit, the redeems just activate, or actually no, because it is doing the redeems, it will activate the shape keys instead. And oh my goodness, this is so crazy. Oh, I probably will just use WebSockets though more than anything, because I'm going to be working within StreamerBot, TwitchBot, or sorry, StreamerBot and SpeakerBot I'm going to be using those, and I feel like using WebSockets in those are going to be a lot easier to do than, say, like, you know, trying to use the redeems and what have you and rely on VNyan to do like their side of the redeems and have them all synced up. I think I'd much rather have, you know, StreamerBot trying to do as much of its own thing as possible, and only some of the redeems be like, because if the entire thing can't be done redeem wise for VNyan, then I'd rather StreamerBot, you know, be the conductor, so to speak. So all right, I need to get Final Fantasy up and running. I'm gonna move this thing here. I'm gonna close my two settings windows, so then that way. So yeah, I need to figure out like what the control. Oh, are they using the same controls as what VC Face does? Actually, hang on a second. Camera and lighting. So if the direction of the light can be changed with control left click, and the camera is with the alt key. Alrighty then. So maybe, all right. Let's see what happens. Now, using the control key does nothing. So that's a shame. How's Grant doing? I'm doing it relatively okay today. There's not been too much going off today, besides the fact that I just had to like I wanted to really quickly like put together the VNyan program, give it a try, and what have you. Oh wait, I have to sign into a thing. One moment. Square. Oh, one of the side things that I did was I looked at Destiny 2, because I like Warframe, but you know, I'm not a huge fan of where I'm at currently with the game, where you know it's just a big XP resource grind. Like I feel like that's one of the side effects when you make like a first person, or if you make a free-to-play game first and foremost, and it's using the item mole, is there's going to be a lot of, you know, microtransactions being used for time saving or resource grind savers. And sure, there are good stories and what have you, but I feel like I'm at a point with Warframe where I've kind of gotten like a majority of the story I can get through, and all that's left is like these weird side stories that require me grinding through resources, either because they've introduced the open world, which a lot of people want to have, and I feel like they're kind of missing out on like one of the reasons why we liked the open world on both Venus and Earth. Yeah, on both Venus and Earth. Like there was a reason why, because on Earth you had the night and day cycle, and it introduced like these Eidolon hunting, which was not a mission. It was something that naturally happened in the world. And then in Venus, you had like your GTA Most Wanted kind of system going off during the hot and cold season as well, which, you know, kind of works there. I don't exactly want the open world to just sort of be like, oh, this is where we're setting up our mission. So you have to like select your mission or what have you before you enter into the open world, and you do like 4 or 5 repetitive tasks. I don't think people 100% enjoy the, you know, doing the 4 missions when it's classified as one thing. So I know I'm not like a huge fan of it, especially for just doing resource grinds to get standing. And oh Jesus, hey, what am I? Man, those nips. But yeah, hi there, Angrel, and thank you for stealing my shirt. I'd like that back at some point. So yeah. I don't know why, I feel like a little bit smoother with this one. Although there is a bit of a lag to this. I wonder if that's because of a GPU limit or a CPU limit. Give me a second, I want to see. Oh, it is 100% a CPU limit. Although, to be fair, I think I might have too many Chrome tabs open right now, so I'm going to have to close a few of them. Riding home. Oh, wait, you can't hear any of this, like, Stormblood music. It would be kind of weird if you could. Close this. I'm gonna have to close. I really wish I could like you know, have the different Twitch streamers I like following like open on the side. No one can steal my pants. I still have the pants. And see? I will always have my pants. So yeah, so I've also done like a slight change to the so cameras, once again, I can use WebSockets for that, which will be really useful. Because I feel like one of the big reasons I like to use, I want to use VNyan, is because with the introduction of being able to do a lot of the things through WebSockets, is I will be able to then create like a whole slew of different actions that are based off of blend shapes or anything like that with my avatar, and I don't have to. And it doesn't have to be like a shortcut like it is on VC Face. Instead, it's a WebSocket that's done on VNyan, which StreamerBot can then... because StreamerBot can do WebSockets. it doesn't do it natively. There's not like a right click, oh, send a WebSocket message. I really wish it could, or that it could like wait for a WebSocket to come in, but so far I don't think it has. I haven't done like a proper look into StreamerBot since I first had to do the, oh, that's right. There's no death thingy-madiggy anymore. That's one of the things I need to do after this stream, is because I was still doing research and such like that, because there is no like health system with VNyan, but because they have the graphic node thing, they obviously want you to be able to just simply use, because there's like a yeet mechanic or something or rather. Actually, give me a second. Did I turn on the yeet mechanic for one of my thingy-madiggies? No, not the general settings. Redeems. Let's see. Follows. All right. Subscriptions have a so they throw something at me and then it yeets me, so I'm like almost dead. Oh Jesus. Oh, that's right. I was here. This was like, hang on a second. You guys aren't seeing what I'm seeing. There we go. Had to borrow the shirt to check it out, research and whatnot. Sure. Alright, so this is where I am. And I can pause the music in the background now. So yeah, so... Oh, yeah, that.
Thank you, Ingral, for the 7-month Prime sub.
Thank you, Angirl. I really appreciate it. So you see what happens when the yippee... So I had to add in the yippee noise. There is no yippee. What they do instead is they do like that bottle rocket, like, clap noise whenever they do the confetti is like a pop thingy-madiggy. And I was like, I don't really... You know, that's not as really cool as, you know, the like... What do you call those, like, party whistle things that are like... They go like... Flee! Right... And they're like curled up or something, and then they like unwind, and it's just like, Flee! I don't like. It's hard to do the noise, but any whoosies. So I kind of like that confetti noise instead, Ed, rather than the pop noise. But I think, you know, if once I have a little dip into the VNyan SDK, like in Unity and such, I might have a better idea of seeing, you know, what I can and can't do with all the objects, because I very much think I might just, you know, try and redo some of them to like my personal preference and add in some of the stuff such as the cactus, the anvil, the traffic cone, and what have you. So, all right. So yeah, I need to get this mission's... Wait, with Woken equipped it or in your inventory, speak with Kristina. Yeah, that's right. So I needed it to do this thing, and they wanted me speak with Christina. Okay, so I now need to deliver the merchant goods to Geralt and as is law. Okay, so that's not what we're going to be dealing with and such like that, because that's going to be a lot of... I'm not going to make that the focus of tonight's stream, of like doing the relic weapons and what have you. What I am going to make my focus is trying to get through more of Revenant's Toll and what have you, so... 661 points, cool. This used to be like 1,000 plus before. I'm kind of glad I did not keep it as such. All right. So yeah, so where was I in my train of thought? So yeah, I want to do like I want to get back into working on bits and pieces of my 3D, because I've not done that, you know. I've not done like any like big improvements or changes to my 3D model or what have you this year, like I was trying to do last year. Last year I was I'm trying to like think back to what I accomplished last year, and like I'm having a tough time, and I want to try and, you know, do something more substantial this year. So one of the things that is on my to-do list is revisiting my VR chat model, so then that way I can do like a few more expressions while I'm in VR chat, and also include like being able to, you know, pop up props. So for example, if I, you know, do the finger gun gesture with my left hand or something like that. That's my right. Hang on a sec. When I do the finger gun gesture with my left hand, I want like a gun to appear in my hand. So like I want to try and do small thingy-madoogs like that. And then I feel like with this one, like for, you know, within VNAN is, you know, get comfortable in using that system and look into maybe trying to get some new things involved with it. So, because I've seen some peeps. All right, so I'm missing a few of these things. So, unable to teleport. That's my current location. I have not unlocked those districts, and some reason I have completely forgotten to get to that one. But yeah, I wanna try and do like improvements here and there with my avatar, and like also try and maybe find a way to make him more expressive, so then that way when I'm trying to do, because I don't have any of my AR kit things turned on. I tried to have an AR kit thingy-majiggy in the past, long ago, like back in 2020 when I first heard about it, and you know, it didn't look really good. So I kind of want, you know, to get maybe Mixie to do that for me. There's got to be a way for me. Hang on, is it shift? No, is it alt? No, alt changes the... Oh, wait, if I go light and then I say set direction from camera, that makes me... So that makes it like super bright. I'd rather not. If I set it there and then... No, actually, if I set it here and then go to here... Nah, I don't know how I feel about the dark... And then this is like with it set straight ahead. I wonder if there's some way for me to, you know... Oh, actually, you know what? I bet there probably is. All right, hang on a second. So, where is it? So, action node. And then effects, numbers, text. Where is start, call, trigger, bone reset, object reset, blend shape tracking? I guess it's not here, question mark? Although, weirdly enough, there is a bone scale action. I wonder what that's gonna... Okay, hang on a sec. Color me curious. Alright, let's say, for example, command. If I do... So, exclamation point... Boobies. Alright, and then I will go... Alright, where was the action command for the bone thing? There we go. Bone scale. And then it was... chest. Decimal. 1. 1. 1. 1.1. 1.1. 1.1. Alright, what happens if I do... Boobies! Alright, Boobies! That's kind of funny how it just goes like boom. But I think what that's doing is... That's like scaling up my entire thingy-majiggy. Let me just have a look. Oh my goodness, look at that! Look at this. All right, let me put, like, look how silly this looks. Okay, so I heard chest, and I thought it was gonna be only the chest. I didn't think it was gonna be the fucking, like, everything from the chest up. I look like fucking Mordock. Jesus. Dink. And then... Oh, actually, I should put the light here, and then... Oh no, put it there. Camera 2. Camera 1. And then... Boobies! Back to boobies, so then that way I go back down. First time at a stream, and this is quite something to come into. I am so sorry that is what you have to see, Tragodile? Hopefully I'm saying that name correctly. I've recently got into, like, a new VTuber program, and I'm kind of fiddling around with, like, the command nodes that they have, so I can, like, scale up bones and things. Let's see. So I can do, like, different... Oh, upper chest. Hang on a sec. All right, let's see how that one looks. Boobies! Damn, I don't have my upper chest because I guess, you know, the upper chest is not a, thingy-madiggy. Boobies! Alright, cool. So that, because I had to, like, toggle it off and on. Anywhoosies, I am going to delete that, because that is not important to me right now. But good to know that when they say bone, they're not meaning, like, the bones of, like, my actual body. They're meaning, like, just their arbitrary avatar bones for VRM and what have you. Alrighty. So, we were looking for passage across the, we were looking for, like, a crossing between, like, it's basically like the English Channel, but for this weird island we're on right now to the mainland. The Garleans don't give us any protection whatsoever, and they are not going to, like, they're not interested in trying to give passage from, you know, people from our island to their island, especially if we're not meant to be there. And we're trying to find out about, like, some group of pirates, I think, that could, or, you know, basically the Triad or something like that, who can do the trip for us. This will all make sense at some point for some people. It's just going to take a little bit for me as well. I'm a little bit himbo with this one. We spoke with a number of merchants and captains at the southern piers. Several recognized Gozetsu and confirmed that he had been searching for a vessel to deliver him to Othard. None, however, made any mention of Lady Yugiri. Yes, it was the same story for us. And then you'll never believe what happened. Hopefully you guys are hearing all that. Yeah. Oh, actually, that reminds me. I need to update the properties of this thingamajiggy, because I need to also... where is it? There it is. I need to add that into the list of excluded thingamajiggies to not listen out for. So, this Gyodo claims to have aided both Gozetsu and Yugiri. How fortuitous. Not the word I would have chosen, Master Alphanod. Stupid's what I'd call it. How can you agree to his price without making any attempt to haggle? Or even confirming what it was in the first place? Yes, that too was a misstep on their part, but it's not what troubles me most. Gyodo and his brethren are not renowned for their generosity of spirit. Rather, they are disdained as scheming moneylenders, ever eager to turn a profit from others' misfortune. Everyone else we questioned stated that Gozetsu was alone. Only Gyodo claims to have met both him and Yugiri. I suppose it's just possible that Gozetsu made inquiries by himself and only called upon Yugiri once he had found a willing captain. Hi there, Icy. Welcome to the stream. What's with that look? What's with that shocked look? But it is equally possible, if not more likely, that you are being deceived. Do not forget that these are parties present in Kugane with agendas which may run contrary to your own. Hey, I see. That's twice now I've had my shirt stolen on the stream. Why are people stealing my shirt? Absolutely despicable. Also, hi Chaos. Welcome to the stream. You came back in and yep, people do this sometimes, Tragodile, I'm sorry to say. The Viceroy was once a spy herself, as I recall. I should be surprised if she... Thank you for the hyper himbo there, Icy. I really appreciate it. I should be surprised if she did not have countless agents here in her employ, all eager to prove themselves to their master. And what better way to do so than by delivering her the heads of foreign... Tragodile, thank you for the follow. I greatly appreciate it. To their new master. And what better way to do so than by delivering her the heads of foreign insurgents? Fine. You may be right about him, but if Gyodo's working for the Empire, who's to say he didn't try the same trick on Yugiri and Gozetsu? I mean, if he did, he might know where they are, and if he succeeded, they might be in trouble. Anyway, if he holds up his end of the bargain, we'll have nothing to worry about, will we? But if he tries to betray us, I vote we take him prisoner and punch him until he tells us the truth. You look a little more 3D, or did you drink too much lemonade again? I'm in a new VTuber program for presenting purposes, so one person has already mentioned that I might look a little bit more glossy because of using the different program. Like, this is one of the fun things about using the standard shader from Unity, is that it's not consistent between some people's programs, because some people like programming using like a different shader, like the M-Toony shader. A lot of people like using in VR chat and what have you.
Thinks you should do 20 squats.
I gotta do my 20 squats. Hi there, Bone. Yeah, stretch real quick. Big stretch for the big boy. You like the model a lot, though? I appreciate it. Wolk did a lot of work on this model, and then I had to nerf the tits. They used to have, like, a lot more, you know, obvious nipples, but we've had to tone that down. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Thank you for the 20 squats. I greatly appreciate it. They jiggle. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. That's kind of their point. Boobies. And then we had to like tone them down because they were a lot more obvious than they are now.
This is a really tall wiener. Jesus.
Oh, I'm gonna regret that quote. You were playing with your BFs. Good to hear. So, if it's a trap, we'll spring it and deal with the consequences.
Quote 317.
I like the way you do.
Hi Bone, how is your 68 kilograms ass?
Oh my goodness, why is there so many
Quote
people asking for quotes now?
I just want my duck sucked. Is that too much to ask?
Do I need to, like, remove the TTS aspect of the quotes? Very well. We should prepare for the worst. Tataru will remain here, and I shall follow the three of you at a discreet distance. Once more, I must caution you to avoid physical alterations at all cost. Even should Imperial agents attempt to engage you, the Sekisagumi will not hesitate to clap you in irons or cut you down. If anything untoward should happen, you are to return here at once. Is that clear? I've been enjoying it fairly all right. I've gone through like a little bit of a slog in terms of progression ever since like near the end of last year to this year now. I've been kind of going at I've been going through Final Fantasy a lot slower than normal. Like, I feel like it started kind of after the patch content of Heaven's Ward.
1221 paid me to say shoot me all you want. It won't change the fact that you're a cutie booty.
I deny those things. You need to make an Australian character so you can play it with folks here, lol. Oh yeah, no, I used to play on like one of the American servers, but then they opened up Oceania servers and I was like, right, I'm moving my thing down there. Because 44%, good cute rating. Because back when I was playing on the American servers, I was like 300 millisecond ping, which isn't a lot for, you know, an RPG MMO, to be frank. It's not like a first-person shooter where you are just, you know, not going to win any firefights in terms of speed. But when you have to deal with, like, you know, the danger soup that's on the floor and such, I would very much like to not have that kind of a delay. So now I'm on this one, where I get really only, I don't know, I get myself maybe, like, I get less than 100 milliseconds this time, which is a lot better. What's my favorite ice cream? My favorite ice cream is chocolate chip cookie dough ice cream. I absolutely love it. Everyone, and when I first learned about cookies and cream, I thought that was going to be the chocolate chip cookie dough. It's not. It's just fucking Oreos grounded into a vanilla ice cream. That is not cookies. So yeah, so cookie dough ice cream. Oh, I need to refund you on that one. Because I thought I turned that off. Hang on a second. Because some of the anvil stuff isn't working. Drop the anvil. Drop something. Kept the hydra... Cookie for Engrel! Oh, I can't use my hands while I'm... Interesting! Hang on. Alright, so... Okay, this system is a little bit interesting, because, like... Normally on, say, what's-a-mahoozy, what's-a-called, where is it? There it is. Okay, so, because on VC Face, the cookie, no, I'm doing that on purpose. That was me testing the cookie, because normally with VC Face, it's like the minute you do anything that's not part of the animation, it overrules the animation, whereas it looks like with what's-a-mahoozy, it isn't overriding it. So let's see, arms override VMC. Let's see what happens when I do that. Cause see how it like kind of shoots me up? Alright, so arm override is not doing that. Ignore chest spring bones. Cool. Alright, how do I... Give me a moment. I need to see if there's, like, something to... Hands override animation. Alright, let's see how this goes. Yep, cool. Alright, awesome. So, I have something for, like, overriding some of the animation, but it... Interesting. So, yeah, so if I, like, put my hands away, then it does that. Interesting. But as you also notice, is, like, my face does, like, a little something. Like, see... Like, if I do this, you can see a difference between when I'm not doing anything to... Like, I'm not saying anything at all, but my mouth does something. Also, hi there, SWAT Warfare. Welcome to the stream. I will definitely need to look into, like, how I might be able to... Because I don't need the entire, like... Maybe I just need to make the animation so that it makes the cookie visible now, instead of, you know, I don't know, instead of, like, doing, like, a whole, you know, tilting animation or something like that. Let's have a look. So, because hands override animation, that's a good thing. I wonder if this thing handles animations differently, because normally, because like, an interesting thing with VC Face is that when you run an animation or something have you, like, it decides to put the body in, like, this weird, like, you know, ready to drop and roll position in Unity, because it decides to put, like, all the bones at, like, you know, 50% or something like that. So you have to, like, manually, you know, make your character stand up or something crazy like that in the animation if you want to do any, like, sort of, you know, when you're in VC Face, making it look like it stands up and such. You'll notice it when I do, for example, maybe one of these, like, see how he's, like, bobbing up and down? And that's because, you know, the animation, like, the whole arm animation thingy-majiggy was made where I had to force his whole, you know, up and down thingy-majiggy. So I wonder if there's like something I need to, there's something I might need to, do when I make the model again, where I need to clean up all of the blend shapes and such, or sorry, not the blend shapes, but all the animation keyframes, so that it's only doing it for the things that need it, such as, you know, the right arm or something like that. So, because that's interesting. It's interesting that it decided to do that. Also, I need to double check. Mouth? Yep, cool. So that's set there. And then these are the offsets for my chest. Okay, I need to make the torso, like, bigger. There. Oop. There we go. like, I understand why they like using an orb, but come on, like, really? An orb? You couldn't, like, I don't know, you couldn't use, like, a tube? I feel like a tube would have been better for collisions with, like, some of these characters rather than an orb. Alright, so that's out of the way. I won't, like, fiddle around with too much of this. I'm not gonna fiddle with this too much. It does, like, I'm pretty sure... Ooh. Didn't realize it was gonna do that. Here I am, just, like, hyper-focused on, like, all the weird things about my model, where it's probably, like... It might need to just be sort of a ground-up sort of alteration where it's like, right, I need an entirely new skeleton, so it has, like, the proper, you know, spine, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, instead of, you know, missing 2 of the bones, you know, right foot, left foot kind of stuff. And maybe one that's, like, more for AR kits, because there's nothing on the face, quite frankly. There's the 2 eyes, there's the jaw, there's nothing for the teeth or the tongue, and then it just jumps to 3 for the ears and 3 for the head. Or 3 for the hair. Why the change, or are you just testing? Oh, no one's asked me this. So I'm giving it a try. Like, I want to, because I think it might be useful, considering it has the whole node-based programming, which, you know, I like when they did that in Blender. So I kind of want to try it out in here, because it means I can use, like, WebSockets for doing all kinds of effects, rather than, because right now, for example, like, effects like these are done via pressing, you know, a keyboard command, like Control-Shift and a function key. If I'm in the middle of, like, combat or something and I'm holding, like, Control or Shift, so for instance, Cookie, I use, like, F16, but if I'm holding Shift on the keyboard and then you know, the cookie command goes off, it shows a gun. That's not too great, because that means someone is deciding to get someone asks for a cookie and I give them a gun. It's not that great. So there are some things that, you know, I feel like would be better if a lot of the redeems were done via WebSocket as opposed to just normal keyboard commands. But, you know, it's something I gotta, like, you know, iron out the details and what have you, which is I'm probably going to be spending Sunday and Monday doing, since I don't have to work Monday this week, which is nice. All right, Alize. To review, Liz, Grant, and I will meet with Gyodo as planned. Alphanod will keep watch from a distance, ready to provide support in the likely event that Gyodo attempts to betray us to the Imperials or whomever else. It tracks the mouth a bit better, too. Could just be the lighting, maybe. You don't know. I've not done anything, like, brand newy in terms of tracking. It might be just the fact that it's a lot brighter, because I have, like, a little more, like, differences I can do with the camera. Actually, I wonder... Hang on. I'm gonna... No, I don't want to run... I feel like if I run VTuber Plus, it's probably gonna... Actually, no. Let's give it a try. Let's run VTuber Plus for a quick minute and see... because I feel like I might have different lighting settings in VTuber Plus, so I need to, you know, do adjustments here and there. Also, did I accidentally, like, up the gain of my microphone? Because I can see myself hitting the red a lot. I don't need to go that high. Alright, so getting into VTuber Plus, it does all the login shit, although everything is, like, hyper slow, but I guess that's because... Ooh, maybe it's because... Yeah, okay. I think I know what's... So if I'm running... I can't run multiple... What's Mahoozies? Interesting. Alright, if I go to lighting... So... My ambient is going off... 0.28... Okay, I only have, like, X, Y, and Z for my lighting in VTuber Plus, interestingly enough. Alright, I'm gonna close... There we go. Now we're back into using VNyan. Because the lighting settings in here, like, I can change the... If I change the intensity and then I increase the... Nah, because that... Alright, if I do 0.1... And then I change the Visimi to... Ooh. That's a little too vibrant. And then I can do, like, a monitor light. Interesting. Alright, I'm going to turn that off. Alright, I'm going to change this back to 1. And then I'm going to lower the ambience to 0.25. So, Actually, 0.5. Yeah, 0.5 might be better. And then... Boop. Yep, so shadows don't do too much. Thank you for the boops. I really appreciate that. Man, you can almost see my midriff. That will may cause major slowdowns if I have the ambient light. Fair enough. Oh, wait, no, that's probably talking about the light display. All right. I'm going to quit dicking around in Envian, or Vinian, and back into the game. Should that happen, you and Lise will subdue him, and together we will make our escape. Evie. Wait, why did you say Evie? You have a nice and well-organized Discord? Thank you! Hang on a second. Do I have to be concerned about whatever that is going off in my Discord in the next few minutes? No, I do not. I don't think so. Joined a shit ton of groups. There isn't that many there's not that many people who join my Discord. I'm not yet at a level where it's like, ah, yes, there is like so many active users in my Discord where I can go in there and I'm getting a new meme every day. I don't get a lot of new memes. I would love to get a lot of new memes because I feel like that would be like my Discord. If I'm not going through TikTok, Discord is going to be like my news source of memes half the time, and I get some interesting ones. So, and then there are others where I'm just like, meh. All right. As our actions will surely draw attention of the Sagumi, we will evade them with Alpha Naut's assistance and return here with our prisoner. Does that meet with everyone's approval? Of course, these precautions will be for naught if Gyoto does not play us for fools, but we shall see. To the bridge! And, yeah, Bone makes some of the memes. You can get me some new memes? Excellent, SWAT! That's what I want to hear. So, some of the memes... So, yeah, because I dropped some memes in there that I'm like, oh, yeah, that seemed like a okay meme to share and such like that, but... What's my Discord server? Hopefully that link is working. If not, let me know. Jump. 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 Oh yeah, I need to deposit some monies, because I'm holding on to too much. There we go. 2.8 million so far. Some days it's hard. Dun, 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 dun. So yeah. I feel like if I had a better attention span and, you know, less time I'm sleeping or doing the wrong things, I would probably put a lot more effort into my streams here and there in regards to, say, layout or any sort of 3D redeems, what have you. I don't do it often enough, however. I've only done, like, you know, 2 new bit redeems and nothing new in the sounds. I need to, like, have, like, a proper, like, list or something like that of, here are the following, what's a Mahuzi? The following, bit count and the effect that happens once you use them, or something rather. Okay, I need to go up a floor then. Hey, look, it's a cat! Manny Bear Hands. I just went with the classic GrantZeebs. Most of the time, I am going to use GrantZeebs as my name. If I'm on Twitter, it's GrantZeebs. In Discord, GrantZeebs. In video games, GrantZeebs. You're in? Excellent. Alright, I can keep moving. Our would-be ally is nowhere to be seen. Make ready, Grant. Something smells... fishy. Commence battle, for it's probably a trap. Yes. It should be easy enough to accomplish, though. I have no doubts whatsoever. He's late. It's a trap. I'm ready for someone to, like, hop in. Oh! Oh, yeah, we were talking to the fish fella. Hi.
Endless and most sincere apologies to you and yours, yes, yes. This way, quickly now.
Alrighty, Gyoto. Everyone just looking like, oh, like, I don't know what to think of this. He's just a fish. If we get a submarine, this is going to be weird. I would never have thought submarines were already a thing in this.
Where are you taking us? Where is the ship?
It's a submarine, isn't it? You're going to show us a submarine.
The ship. So very sorry to inform you, yes, yes. Long before was it pledged to another.
Oh, this is a betrayal.
To me. These ones are for Doma.
Ow. Why you gotta hit me, Fairy Cures? This is just sort of like, oh.
I knew it couldn't be this simple.
No, apparently not, but you know
Nothing
what?
personal, yes, yes. Just business.
Oh, it's personal for me. You should ow. They should always remember, if you are ever betraying someone and you tell them nothing personal, it's just business, be sure to remind them that it is certainly personal to yourself.
Hello.
Hi, Jason. Welcome back. Hello. Gonna take a quick sippies.
Then business is about to take a turn for the worse.
Hello.
Hello.
Come on, let's find a way out of here.
Also, is there an advertisement going off right now? Yes, there is. God damn it. Have I only been, like, streaming for, like, the last 45 minutes before it, like, did an advertisement? Nope, it's not saying there's an advertisement going off. Alright, never mind. She punched the she drop kicked this weird, catfish thingy-madoog. Absolute decimated them. And look, they got, like, little chocobos on their, they got, like, flying chocobos. They're just dreaming of little chocobos. Alright, I'm just gonna hit the DPS. Dealing with all the... Okay, why are they focusing on Alize? I thought I should have the fucking enmity to be able to just be like, hey, look at me. Did it. You might need to reset your PC. The Wacom decided to disconnect. Oh no! Hopefully the Wacom isn't, like, you know, completely fucked or anything like that. As expected, there's something or rather are, like, you know, chasing after them. If they find you, use these smoke bombs to make your escape. I'm not a ninja. I'm a dark knight. I'm gonna just, like, seep into the shadows. Attacking the Sekisugumi will result in failure. Oh boy, okay. Here we go. This is a stealth required mission. I am actually good at these. So long as I get to do it 50 times. Special actions available only during the course of specific and the attack can be bound to can be bound to another key. Oh, I'm not really gonna use that. Alright, here we go. Oh, so I have to go this way. Am I going the right way? Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. I don't know what the fucking field is. I don't know how, like... Oh my fucking god. Is it... Am I gonna successfully... Oh my god. There we go. And then... Come with me, I'll guide you to your friends. Who the fuck is this guy? It's a Ninja Turtle. Code! I don't know if Code is here, but Code! Ninja Turtles! Everything is going to be all right. Trust me. Noted. Welcome back, Ingrel. We bumped into a Ninja Turtle. Sorry, I just had to take a quick drink, and I also realized that I do not have the correct I don't have the correct command for the hydrate. I put that to the wrong thing. Because it's meant to be hydrate exclamation point. Because when you use the redeem, this is what happens. There is no sound for this, unfortunately. So I might need to just like get my own like glug 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 sound file and then just add that in. Because yeah, for some reason they didn't think that they wanted a splashing water for the water. I feel like they should have made that a thing where you can toggle on a sound or not. Do the no shirt and hydrate back to back. Please don't. I know exactly what you're thinking. Please don't. Stay hidden and quiet. Understood? Excuse me.
Clear the road! Clear the road! You there! Korjin! We seek 4 foreigners. One, a brutish woman carrying an unconscious Namazu. Have you seen them?
Nope. I love how they have to show that Namazu, and he's just like, ah.
4 foreigners, you say? Ah, yes! Very rude they were, making no apology as they barged past. They went that way, I think.
Many thanks, good sir. With me, they cannot have gone far.
All is well. The Sekisei Gumi will not return this way for some time, I should think.
Hi, Code.
You're
Yes,
of the East Aldenard Trading Company, yes? Come with me. I know a safer way.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da. Turtles coming. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. You don't need to do the hashtag for the numbers thingy madiggy furry cures. You swear. Meanwhile, Trigodile swears they're an innocent frog.
Quote 314.
They ask that I have my no shirt on while the
This
new
is a
hydrate
really
routine goes
tall
off.
wiener. Jesus.
You are returned. And with guests, I see.
The 2003 was a good cartoon. Like, that's the one I remember. One of the best. Okay, awesome. I was worried you were going to be like, the 2003? You wanted the 2003 Ninja Turtles? Like, I thought it was a good one.
Our meeting went about as well as expected. We've brought the Namazu who thought to betray us. When he wakes up, we'll see what he knows about Yugiri and Gazetsu.
Yes. Just
Well
dead.
done, you. When I saw the Seki Segumi out in force, I did begin to worry, but I see my fears were misplaced.
Actually,
waiting
if
for
it
them to
weren't
say
for
his
Soroban,
name.
we might not have gotten away.
This guy. Look at him. Like, fucking Ninja Turtles vibe from this. 2003 and 2012 were the best series. What's the one that's going off right now? Like, because you have, like, fucking Mikey just, like, throwing a fucking shipping container at Shredder. It's really fucking cool. Like, let me see if I can find the video. Hang on. Ninja Turtles shipping container Shredder. Give me a second. Like, it was so cool when I was watching it, and like Shredder is just like clawing through this fucking thing, and just like it reminds me of Kung Fu Panda a little bit. Rise of Teenage Mutant Ninja. Okay, so Rise of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The animation is crazy and is done in Sydney. Oh, I didn't know it was done in Sydney. Shredder. All right, hang on a second. So, because yeah, they had such a fucking amazing fight. Hang on, I need to find this. All right, so 2003, and then they got this thing from Rise. They give you 2012, 2003, and then no. Is this the one? Where's the one where he like throws a fucking shipping container at Shredder? Like he throws a fucking boat. Shredder and the boat scene. Is this what it is? Yep! Hang on a second, chat. Ow. This thing! Like, throwing just a fucking ship! And he, like, fucking... Like, pretty sure he gets hit by it, and he has to, like, run through it all. Never mind. I thought he was like running through it or some shit. Damn it. I thought that was going to show him like cuz he had to go like through several layers of like cuz like he was like doing that whole like Tai Long like he's like on all fours kind of thing running and he's like jumping over pipes or you know ripping open walls. It was so cool.
Noel 1976 thinks you should do 20 squats.
'Twas my pleasure.
Aw, how polite. Thank you for the pie.
Yet I must ask, Soroban.
It's annoying that it gets thrown at the shoulder
the
rather than
Sekisagumi to help
aimed
us,
for the head.
foreigners of whom you know naught.
Oh, thank you for taking my shirt when I need to do my 20 squats. Stretching! Big stretch for the big boy. Here we go. Ow. Good to see Noel is trying out the throwing system to see what it's like. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Thank you for the 20 squats. So wait, hang on, I missed one of the best in the series. 2003 and 2012 were the best. I'm trying to do anime expressions. Good animations, just wasn't too great at first season. Your biggest issue is that Ralph is the leader. And they all act like my... Well, I think the whole point is like, do you remember when they did the, What's-a-Mahoozy? The two Ninja Turtle movies, the live-action ones. I'm pretty sure all of them were acting like Mikey in that one as well, weren't they? You give me a way to make you suffer and I'll try it out. Wow! Great to hear, Noel.
Why, out of the kindness of my heart, is what I would like to say, but my motives are not so pure. I chanced to witness your meeting with Hancock at the tavern and saw an opportunity.
Sorry, I was waiting for someone to say Hancock, and they finally said it, and I was like, Hancock, and then just had to hit that button.
Like many, I came to Kugane as a trader to make my fortune. Kojin of the Red may serve the Empire as mercenaries, but Kojin of the Blue walk a different path. Regretfully, most here would rather not meet our gaze, much less do business. So I seek the custom of those less predisposed to dismiss us outright, namely the East Aldenard Trading Company.
The Yatk.
Quid pro quo, is it? Well, there is no denying that we owe you a debt. What say you, Hancock?
Hancock!
Will you consider doing business with our entrepreneurial friend here?
Rest assured, Master Soroban, that in matters of trade, the company does not discriminate. We would be honored to hear your proposal.
I would I just realized a really good idea. I should, like, have a... Oh, actually, no, never mind. It would take too long, and the redeem would be too much of a delay for people to make it, like, you know, a worthwhile, like, edit to have happen on live. Because, like, I had the idea of, like, maybe I could, like, make it so that there's a channel redeem to make me, like, go to, like, the freeze frame redeem and the, you know, the whole, you know, that, like, you know, demotivational poster / like, cyberpunk rizzing, look where it has, like, the black background and the thingy-madiggy in the center, and then you have the text underneath where it's like, welcome to Night City, but instead it says, like, come instead of welcome or something or other. I was thinking, like, oh, I could make it a channel redeem and then make it so that when someone inputs, like, a word or something or rather than it being, like, just the typical, like, you know, what? Or cyberpunk, it's instead the word that they type in. But then I realized that if anyone does, like, a good one of those, it would take too long to do, and they might, like, miss the moment when it happens on the stream and what have you. So.
Ah, yes. You sought passage across the Ruby Sea.
Thank you for the hydrate, Tragodite.
I have a ship you can use.
You do? Well then, far be it from us to refuse. You have our deepest thanks.
Hi there, Ox. Welcome to the stream.
And you mine.
Oh, code. So, I have done a challenge, or it's kind of a gamble, with a friend of mine from work.
Did you see it?
Oh, yeah, I see the Ninja Turtle. So yeah, I have a gamble that's going off with a friend at work. I won't reveal their name, like, on the stream, but in the last stream that went off last night, we decided to stand with the name Greg for this person. I did a gamble with this person, Greg, that they would not be able to find my stream within 8 weeks. So basically, by the time it gets to like my anniversary of being on Twitch and what have you, not as an affiliate, but you know, just streaming and what have you, like they would not get it by April 15th or something rather. 8 weeks. And they're like, oh, plenty of time. I'm gonna find you. So like, here's the first problem they have. Number one, my IRL name is not Grant, so I don't know how they think they're gonna find me. And from the sounds of it, they were like, oh, they're gonna like, you know, they're gonna try and search for me via tags that they think I would use. I purposely got rid of the Australia tag just to make it more difficult for them, but I didn't get rid of like all of my tags because there's still autism down there and what have you. But all this, and if Greg wins, if Greg's able to find me and, you know, either send me a message in chat or he tells me at work by the due date, so he can tell me, he can either have however many guesses, or, you know, he'll only guess at the end, what have you. I will grow my hair and cut it into a mullet. I don't like a mullet. I think a mullet is an absolutely terrible hairstyle. They've been trying to have me get one for a year plus, and I keep telling them no unless they paid me. But I'm putting my pride and my secrecy on the line for this, because if they fail, which is very likely that they will fail, they are going to have to shave their head. Now, some of them are like, oh, but he already has his hair like practically shaved. No, you. No. No, you're not that person. I can see you had me worried for a second, but then I checked your messages again, and I see that you're part of the Yeen raid. So I know it's not you, but I shouldn't have mentioned, like, you know, what the thing, because there's a special message and what have you, but anyway, there's a gamble. They have 8 weeks. Their best time to try and find me would have been when I was playing niche games, like when I was doing last night, Kingdom Hearts 3. But they don't normally listen to me about my life and what have you like that, because I don't reveal my name, and I don't reveal like half the redeems or anything like that. But I do mention of like, oh, I play Final Fantasy, or oh, this evening I'm trying out why a mullet double down with a skullet. What the fuck is a skullet? I have to go into work with this, Noel. Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. I refuse. There is no. 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 Never. You could not pay me. There is not a currency there is not a value of money you are willing to give me in order to get me to get a skullet. It ain't happening. What am I doing, Swat? Oh, basically, friend at work, he has 8 weeks to find me, Greg. If he doesn't, he's shaving his head. If he does find me, I have to grow my hair and cut it into a mullet and have it for about a month. Now, everyone at work is like, oh, what style of mullet are you gonna get? And I'm like, are you fucking serious? Like, do you guys even have like a start of trying to figure out where I am? I really don't think they do. I feel like they're gonna come to the realization that as much shit as I talk and what have you at work about really dumb things, unless I tell them of the game I play in that I'm gonna play either that evening or tomorrow evening or something like that, and it's a niche game like Kingdom Hearts 3 where you can like literally look down the page and see, you know, within one page all the different peeps. Unless it's a game like that, I don't think they're gonna find me. You work at Walmart. That is a terrible... No. It'd probably look good with a beard. The beard would have to be fucking immaculate. Do they know? No, they don't. Here's the thing. Let me just hit the snooze on this thing and let me zoom in for you guys, alright? They don't know... What the... Why am I... Okay. I'll definitely need to adjust my cameras and what have you. They don't know that I'm a furry. At least I don't think they know. I don't think they know that I'm a furry. But if they do know, they don't know what my fursona is. They don't know what they don't know the identity of my fursona or anything like that either. They are basically they're going in relatively blind, and they're gonna just have to pay attention for the next 8 weeks of, oh, what are you playing tonight and what have you, or something or rather, and hope that I don't tell them some really big fucking titles like, oh, I'm gonna play Fortnite tonight, or hey, I'm gonna be playing the critically acclaimed MMORPG Final Fantasy 14. Do they know? No, they don't. They don't know these things. That's like, here's the thing. Do they know the name? No. That's the gamble. They have 8 weeks to find this name. Do they know I'm a furry? Probably not. Do they know the fursona? No. Do they know, like, the kinks? No. Do they know, like, what I'm playing most of the time? I feel like off and on they know what I'm playing. I don't think they're aware that I'm playing Kingdom Hearts 3 on Fridays. They know I'm playing Atomic Heart. They should know I'm playing Final Fantasy 14. But to be fair, Atomic Heart and Final Fantasy 14 are two very popular games. They are going to have a really hard time trying to find me. And I don't... So... They either, and I'm in this, like, weird spot where I'm not the worst streamer, so they can't just, like, scroll all the way down to the bottom and look for, you know, whoever has, like, you know, only 5 or 10 views. But I'm not a top streamer either, where I got, like, tens of thousands of views at the top. I'm somewhere in the middle. 2% of Twitch is a very, like, 2 to 3% of Twitch is a very wide, like, you know, metric to look for someone. Dinner time? Not to worry, Code. So yeah, they're going to have an absolutely fucking ripper of a time. They're gonna fail. I am very certain they are going to fail. They think 8 weeks is plenty of time. 8 weeks is not enough time. With the information they have available to them, 8 weeks is not enough time. And they're kind of hoping that I'm just gonna slip up at work and accidentally have my, you currently have 15 views. Thank you. So yeah, I'm in the middle. Like, I'm not at a point where I'm going to be all the way at the bottom, and I'm certainly not at a point where I'm going to be all the way at the top. I am going to be in the fucking thick of it. Good luck to them, because I wonder if they are even aware that I'm using an avatar. Do they think I'm just, you know, streaming IRL? I don't think so. I'm still annoyed he tried to deceive us, but at least we were prepared for it. Even so, next time we should probably try to avoid running around Kugane in the middle of the night with half of the city guards snapping at our heel. Yes, absolutely right. Yes, I'll just grab the sap joint. Right then, Gyoto should be coming around soon. I think it's time we had a little chat. Don't you? It's how I found you after all. Not too low, not too high. So yeah, you have to, like... So that's my thing, is I feel like if they're going to ask me, oh, what I'm playing, I'm gonna limit it to, like, big titles, like Final Fantasy 14, Atomic Heart that's currently going off. I think by the time it gets to April, there will be another big title I want to play, and, you know, I'll tell them about that one too. Like, I'm not gonna make it impossible for them. Like, I'm not gonna stop streaming for 8 weeks. Rise and shine, little fishy. I know you can hear me, so stop pretending to be asleep or I'll give you another ride on my boot. No boots. All my secrets are yours for the asking. Tell us what you know about Yugiri and Gozetsu, every last detail. And if I find out later that you lied to me... No more lies. The clear, unvarnished truth. You have my word. Only the samurai did I meet. Yes, only him. He asked after a ship, so I provided an introduction to the Garleans. You mean you led him into a trap as you did us, because you are an Imperial spy. No, I'm not a spy. It was just business. Fewer ships pass through Kugane these days, and we have struggled to make ends meet. So when the Garleans offer a bounty for any domans found in Kugane... Oh, my mistake. You're not a spy, but a common cutthroat. Not that I'm surprised. You need half a brain to be a spy. So what happened to the samurai? Such a cruel, vicious tongue you have. He would not go quietly. No, no. Blades were drawn, men were cut down, and the Sekisugumi came. They took the samurai away. Hold on a moment. You mean to tell me the Ijin they arrested the other day was Gozetsu? Oh, had I known. If he is in the custody of the Sekisugumi, I need only see to it that the requisite funds they find their way into the right official's hands, and your friend will walk free. You just jump into streams with folks who have an okay number of folks, since they usually mean to pay attention to their chat and interact. And that I had a furry model that caught your eye. Excellent to hear! I am so glad! I do my best, though. Sometimes I, not a lot happens in chat a lot of the time for me to, be actively interactive and such like that. But at the same time, if too much goes off in the chat, I'm like, oh, Jesus, I can't follow suit. I'm just gonna keep playing the game. Mood. As it is in Ul'dah, so it is in Kugane. But, given the circumstances, it seems we have no choice but to resort to morally questionable means. We'll make a pragmatist out of you yet, Master Alphanod. Ah, yes. Bribery. It's not a crime if there's a fee. Alrighty. You are free to wait here while I speak with the relevant official. But if you would rather wait for Gozetsu outside the barracks, we can go together. I wouldn't put it past the Imperials to try something again, so mayhaps it would be best if Lisk, Grant, and I joined you. Alright, but what about Gyoto? I will keep an eye on him for the time being. We can release him after you return with Gozetsu. He will doubtlessly have some choice words to say to the yellow fellow. What the fuck? Wait, what? Oh, little! Ooh, shit. Oh, shit, that's not the... Hang on. That's not the right one. Hang on. There we go. Okay, so the hide is a fade at 500. The show is a slide at 500. Hang on. Alright, so... Hide, fade. Alrighty then, SWAT. Have a good rest of the stream. Not to worry. I'm kind of glad there was an advertisement that went off at that point, because I'm like, oh no, I fucked up. Alright, change it to that one. There we go. Alrighty. I will keep an eye on him for the time being. We can release him after you return with Gozetsu. He will doubtlessly have some choice words to say to the little fellow. Sora... What happened? Lol. Don't worry, there is an advertisement. There's nothing to worry about. Sorabin, mayhaps it would be prudent to prepare your ship for our immediate departure. As you wish. Everything is in order? Then let us be off. The Sekisugumi barracks are to the north. Peruse certain game categories because I know the kind of people which would play the game that I would like to watch in general. Not to worry. Ooh! Hi there, Aiden the Wicked. Welcome to the stream. Hello. Welcome everyone to the stream. My name is Grant. I'm a variety furry himbo streamer. I go through like a whole variety of games. Did the shoutout thing work? Why didn't it do its thing? A shoutout was given. Is it hang on a sec. Did it not do its thing? Why
Hello!
Hello! Welcome to the stream. Oh, hang on a second. Maybe I should do that at the end. Why? Hang on. So, ding, ding. Does the shout out. Twitch message. Okay, it did like it did the shout out one and the thing, but it didn't say like, oh, hey, check out this person. They've done they played this video game or something or other. Like, I didn't get that little indicator. And I kind of missed the... I accidentally missed the little thingy-madiggy that said what it was you were playing in the thingy-madigs. How was it? How was your video game? Hello, Grant. How you been, friend? I have been relatively okay. I'm trying out a new VTuber program for displaying my my avatar and to do some of the camera movements and redeems. It's not perfect just yet because I've only just done it this evening. Some of the stuff is missing. Oh, Jesus, there's another raid. Hi, Danny. Welcome to the stream. Hopefully you're doing all right. You come in just after Aiden the Wicker Beast came in and raided as well. Why is my thingy-majiggy not doing shoutouts correctly?
Both of these nuts.
What? Aiden just did oh, okay. Why is it, wait, am I doing something incorrect? Hang on. So, they do the raid. I do a exclamation point shout out. And then it should be doing an announcement. Oh, hang on a second. It's because they changed the they've changed a few things. So I need to cancel that, and then Twitch, chat, send announcement to channel. There we go. So, and then it will be purple. Shout out to Thingy-Madoogie there. So then that way, and then I delete that sub action. How many things did... it's... So...
Hello!
This is unrelated to... What did I... Oh, that's the corner. So one of the changes that Twitch made recently was that they changed some of their, like, their API nonsense for sending chat commands and what have you. So the streamer bot had to get updated, and they've added in, like, 1 or 2 different things. So... Okay, so that's sending a message. I need to, like, find all the different things that I've used that might be trying to... Because if my thingy-majiggy is trying to send a command, or is trying to send, like, a chat thingy-majiggy rather than just doing a command, then I might need to fix that. But I think the ones that are, like, the most, like, crazy ones, I think I have the correct ones. So, alright, stream start delay, and then, oh yeah, the thingy-madoogie, and then I do an announcement telling them that, you know, there's going to be an advertisement at the start, and then the subscribe does that thing. Okay, I think I've done it correctly. Alright, the shout-out thingy-madoogie should work properly this time around. Alright, I need to head into thingy-madoogies. So yeah, what were you chatting about, if you mind me asking? Was there any, like, fun, hot topics you had to discuss, such as the fall of capitalism and the rise of communism, or the potentiality that all political systems are going to be driven into obscurity? Where the hell is our... Because I don't think I could have gone through the castle. I think I need to go through that way to get to where I need to go. And turn. There we go. So jump, 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 jump. Fabulously foxed fellow. Alright, and then do I need a... Okay, so I do need to go through here. What's your thing? Dream of Shigore. That's that's probably some dungeon stuff. I think I'm going the right way. I hope I'm not going the wrong way. I feel like Zorro sometimes, you know, how he just gets lost all the time and you're just like absolute, you know, you're just like, how the fuck did you end up here? I know I have like a map in the top right and Zorro doesn't normally have a map, but you know. Also, what is with my text? Alright. Hancock. I must ask that you wait here. You may be assured that this will not take long. Excellent. Will do. Alright, let me just attune to this thingy-majiggy. Look at my fella. How annoyed will they be? Alright, so we got Perplick and Iris. Who the fuck are these two? Welcome to Kugare. Thank you. Tiny Lala. Cool. Alright, I need to, like, wait here. Thought you'd drop in. Oh, that's one of you two peeps, is it? Yes, I'm in Lala Hell right now, apparently. This tracking seems pretty good. Thank you! There's no AR kits on it right now, either, so... But, you know, I gotta have to do, like, those adjustments. I need to... There's a lot of 3D work I want to do on this one. Like, but I feel like a lot of the 3D work, I'm gonna maybe have to deal with, like, the big head scratcher where I either need to go to Wolk and say, hey, I want AR kit blend shapes or something crazy like that. Or I need to, like, just start from the beginning and try and do things myself. Wait, how many times am I waiting here? I already waited once. Why do I have to wait twice? How's it going, Avalon, by the by? You got the VR itch now and you want a Wolk model? Absolutely! Do it! Get that Wolk model. Do it! Also, why in the world... this thing is not positioned correctly. Hang on. Camera main. There we go. Alrighty, now I need to go to filters and set this as the current, like, zebra zoom. One moment. Get transformation. And then we go back into zebra zoom. So, because this one isn't, like, you know, 100%. Also, what is in here that it's like... Oh, okay. Alright. So, I should be... here. There we go. Right here. Get the transformation for that one. We do the normal zoom, we're here. And then... You know what? I'm gonna get rid of this, like, main desktop thingy-majiggy, because that's kind of, like, throwing my camera main out of whack. And then, let's see, center zoom is there, which is fine. Guest zoom is in the bottom left, as always. Then we got our top left corner. Then we got our bottom left corner. And then we do the slow zoom to my face. Excellent! Meanwhile, Alistair is a dragon dude. They were both Lalafels in there. Also, hello there. Still need to get something from Wolk too. You recognize the work of the model? Excellent that you do. There is a number of... Actually, hold on a sec. Is it model? Hold on, Wolk. Damn it, I don't have... I need a voice line from Wolk. Like, where it's just sort of like, this zebra brought to you by... Like, I just need him to, like, say something with exclamation point Wolk. I feel like just to like, finish it off. What are my commands? I haven't had to use a lot of them for a long time. Where is it? Persona? Is that it? Okay, nope, that's not it.
Check out my pecs, little man.
Check them out. Oh no, the Persona message is not going to come up that often. There is a global cooldown of 60 seconds on that thing. Huh. I thought I would have one for the fact that, you know, Wolk is responsible for the model. I need to add that in at some point. Excellent. Wait, so that's foreground elements, and then we have full screen effects. Wait, what's in my full screen effects? Is that where the nice cop comes in? Hang on. Foreground, core overlay. Core overlay has the... Did you see it? I might need to adjust where some of my thingy-madiggies are sitting. Damn, that's so cute, Avalon! That's over half your personality! You know, you should not listen to people who say Scottish people cannot be cute. They are absolute adorbs. Don't listen to any of them. They're just detractors. You said it wouldn't take long, right? But this feels a bit too long for me. Black flag? Calm down, Liz. Everything is going to be alright. Much as I hate to admit it, I share Hancock's dim view of government officials and their supposed incorruptibility. From what I've gleaned of the Far East, they're probably exchanging lengthy pleasantries. I don't have the flag of Scotland? Hang on. Okay, that's not Scotland. Does Microsoft not keep, like, flags of countries? Hang on. Hang on. Hit the dot, and then we scroll down. Nope, not this. Not that. There should be like a whole slew of flags or some shit. There should be like a really long list of flags you can use. Cause like if I type in like there's Australia. So hang on. Hey! Scotland! Wait, what? Why is it doing the black... What the fuck? What? It's the Scottish flag on my side. I don't know why it's not that in the redeem thingy-madiggy. Fucking censorship. Like, hang on. Hang on. United... UK. Okay. Okay, cool. Thankfully, it's equal censorship, because only I can see on my side the UK flag thingy-madiggy. So I think it's just flags overall, unless... Hang on a second. Nope. Okay, cool. So just all flags are not allowed. Wait, what the... Why are some, like, emoji hyphen... Like, if I hover over the thing, it tells me flags US... Emoji hyphen flags is the responsibility for it. Kekona is the, you know, better TV thingy-madiggies. That is so weird. From what I've gleaned, they're probably... Oh, wait, we already read that. Oh my goodness, a samurai. Gutless. Lol, I get that. Right. Everything's fine. Probably. I mean, it couldn't be as bad as the last time we stood around waiting for something to happen. When was the last time we stood around waiting for something to happen, mind me asking? Also, why is... Ooh. Hang on. Alright, and then if I go... Cool. And then it does the slow zoom. And then we go to the center. Center. And then we zoom out. Have at you! Ah!
Was that?
Not
I'm sorry, but I just heard, was that? And then someone just went, not. Excellent.
That was Gazetsu. I'm sure of it. He's in trouble.
Never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down, never gonna
run around and desert you. Get fucked, Avalon.
Lise, wait!
Bonk!
I suppose we should follow her then.
Excuse me, nose. There is a small chance that if you try and hit the nut button, you're gonna get rickrolled instead. Ah, look at these look at these samurai.
Victory to the samurai!
Yeah. Hell yeah. You just need to do like the gun thingy-majiggy.
How many is that now? 10 in a row?
Gazetsu!
Damn, 82% is really high. Good going. If you weren't on mobile, you would have clipped that. I greatly appreciate the consideration there on Trigodile. I really do. Clipping is such a hard thing to do. It honestly is. And then they introduced like moments, which seem like a cool idea, but then they do the the fucked up thingy where apparently you can't edit the clip for the moment. You just have to like pray that the 30% works. How the fuck is the Demon Skull 91% himbo? The most himbo thing in the world in this room right now is a fucking skull. What is your secret? How did you do that? The next D&D realm is actually based in a Japanese fantasy realm. Ooh, is it like Kamigawa?
I could ask you the same thing. We've been looking all over for you, and then I suddenly heard you screaming.
It would seem there has been a misunderstanding. Allow me to explain.
So you weren't arrested by the the police? Also, there is something I need to do really quickly. Hang on a second.
So,
imagine
in
Wano
summary,
from One Piece.
You started
okay.
with some off-duty Imperial soldiers and were subsequently arrested
So
by
a
the
lot
Sekisuguri,
more fantasy than
whom
Kamigawa,
you somehow
then.
befriended and convinced to set you free if you could defeat a given number of them in single combat.
Funny.
10 bouts for my freedom, aye. 'Tis but a pity you came too late to witness the last one.
I don't think it's a pity. I have several questions.
And with that, I'm free to go, yes?
Hang on, I need to look at my phone. There we go. And then hit this thing in Madiggy, and then use this, and then go to... and then hit the transfer. Hit transfer now. I also need to double check, like, because apparently my mom is visiting Tuesday, and I need to ask... okay, so... Alright, so a van was booked for Tuesday. But I need to find the cost of the van. Otherwise, I don't want to accidentally, spend too much money than I need to. Where is the text messages from my mom? By the by, chat, if you can't remember the last time you had a conversation with your mom within the year, probably should go and call your mom. Doesn't matter what the fuck you talk about. They're gonna absolutely adore you for it. Is there a search function? Yes, there is. Cool. Couch on Tuesday. Nope, that's not... Okay. Alright, so... Okay, so I need to save $154.79. There's a security deposit. When they say there's a security deposit, that means that they get that money back, right? Or they, like... So if they... Yeah, I'll figure this kind of nonsense out. Any whoosies. Persona. I thought it was something for everyone. What was? If they don't say it's mother, no thanks. Alright, fair enough. Do you have any mother figures in your life? It doesn't need to be your biological one. It can be, someone who's been like an Oprah to you. Cause I have my actual mom, but I can think of one other woman who's been like a mom to me. And because of the relationship our family has with their family, my mom would not be bothered with this statement either. Me and my parents don't get along. God damn it. Topic involved furries. If they're comfortable with that, you get back. Cool. Do I need it? Hang on. A quick poll. Quick poll. Are you okay with your moms? Yeah. Quick poll. Just to see how many people actually have a problem with their mom right now in this chat. Am I like talking, like, am I speaking of an experience that most people here are like, can't relate? Conversations with the mom once a month at least, and it's not, you know, just, you know, absolute like vitriol hatred or anything like that? Don't know. Man, you're just talking about things that mean nothing and only have like maybe 1 or 2 questions about your job? Cap. Oh my goodness. What was the deposit? Oh, the deposit is to get a van from the Sunshine Coast down to where I am, because I do not live in the Sunshine Coast. I live very far south from the Sunshine Coast. And they're giving me a couch because my mom is moving into a different place. They can't fit the couch, however, but they know I really love the couch, so they're going to bring the couch down on Saturday. No, not Saturday, on Tuesday. More weeb, bait, weebs, you're under arrest, give me your pears? Pears? What the fuck is Noel on about? God damn. The only thing my mom cares is if I'm happy. Well, so long as you're happy, Demon Skull. Just put it in a parcel and mail it over. No, no, this is a good couch, okay? Chat. Like, I don't know if you ever gone couch shopping and shit like that. Couches are expensive. Like, good couches are at least $2,000. It's fucking burglary. Like, I understand, like, furniture can normally be a little bit expensive because you're meant to have it for, like, 10 years or so. But a couch is not like a bed where I'm gonna guarantee use it for 8 hours a day, every day. Couches do not have that kind of, you know, usability as a bed. So I don't understand why so many couches are so much more expensive than a bed. That's a roof. My goodness, we had 50% of my chat is like, nope, we're not on good terms with my mom. Great. All right. Fun fact. I can have a conversation with my mom. I don't feel like absolute shit after I do it. Sometimes she calls me when I'm tired, however, and at the best I can do is just simply rest the phone on my head and just sort of be like, yeah, I'm good. How are you? Like, that's the best I can do. They are pricey, and a lot of the nice-looking ones suck to sit on. Yeah, what's more is if you go for, like, a second-hand one that's, like, from an op shop or something like that, you might luck out in getting one. You can actually, like, sit in and such like that, but the one I have, for instance, there's no zippers and there's no Velcro to keep the cushions from sliding off it. So when you get people sitting up and down from it, the cushion slides forwards and ends up like, you know, being all wonky and shit. It's really dumb. So I'm getting a new couch. So I'm getting a couch that my mom has been using. It's a really lovely couch she's had since Iran. And is leather, and it's so great to sit in, and it's just a really great spot for reading. I very much love it, and my mom knows this too. And my sister doesn't need more couches.
Circumstances notwithstanding, my lord, we are honored and grateful to have witnessed firsthand the skill of a Doma samurai.
Uh-huh. I had a lot of second-hand lounges at the last share house. All of them were awful. Yeah, like...
We had just concluded negotiations.
Oh, look.
I gather my assistance was not required.
Hi, Hancock. He has a very John Constantine vibe to him, I feel. Like, if John Constantine was stuck in Japan, that's what he would be like. Is he would just be in a fucking, like, just rolling in it. Just having no issues. Dun, 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 dun.
Nut.
Nut. But yeah, like, share houses, they don't do good furniture. Like, one of the biggest pieces of advice my sister and my mom gave me is that if you ever buy furniture when you're in a share house, do not split that shit. It doesn't matter if it's secondhand or brand new, you do not split the cost on any furniture in the house. You buy it yourself. If you can get brand new, excellent. You pay that full price and it's yours. When you're leaving, there's no arguments on who gets it. It's yours. You paid for it. If it's secondhand, it's a shitty item. You can take it or leave it depending on where you're moving to or what your financial situation changes as. I did that in the last share house I was in, and when I wanted to leave and I left on my own, I took fucking everything from this place. I don't think they realized until I was moving out just how many things were mine. The bookshelves in the living room, mine. The couch, mine. The big TV, mine. Some of the internet equipment, mine. The microwave, mine. The fridge, oh my goodness, this fridge. I spent $1,000 on this fridge, and amazingly enough, fridges actually went up in price in between the time of when I first bought this fridge and when I was leaving. And they were like, oh, how about we, kind of buy it off you, and you go buy a new fridge when you move into the new place. And I'm like, absolutely not, because guess what? There's no way you're gonna pay full price for the fridge that I have right now to get an equivalent one, and you're not gonna pay full price on the fridge that I got. I spent at least $1,000 on it. You would maybe tops give me $400, and I would not be able to get a fridge of that caliber at $400. I was like, fuck that. You deal with it. And you know what? They kind of did deal with it. It took them fucking weeks to realize, what kind of fridge they were going to get. It took them like 2 weeks between, yeah, we're getting a fridge, I'm looking into it right now, and finally purchasing the fridge. It took me 2 minutes when we first had a concern of, oh, we need a new fridge. They were doing some really silly debate and nonsense of all this silliness of who's gonna take it afterwards or something like that. I'm like, look, we just pay full price. And he's like, yeah, but I kind of want to get one that suits all three of us. And I'm like, it's a fridge. And they're like, yeah, but I don't want to get a black one or a silver one, and they don't like it. And I'm like, oh my goodness. I went outside the room, looked on my phone, found the fridge, hit purchase, went back in the room, and I'm like, guys, we got a fridge. It's being delivered Saturday. And they were like, what? No dicking around. I think too highly of Hancock. What's wrong with Hancock? Granted, with a hyphen in it. All right, Gozetsu, talk to me. I must apologize that you endured such trials and tribulations in search of me. There's no need for that. You had no way of knowing we could come looking for you. You were... Oh, Jesus!
Thanks for the tier 1 subscription, Tragadile.
Thank you, Tragadile, for the subscription. I greatly appreciate it. That's one of the new effects for when people subscribe to me, is I literally get yeeted. I can probably make the yeet even more powerful as well if I wanted.
1976 thinks you should do 20 squats.
Ear. Hang on a sec. Alright, I gotta do my 20 squats for Noel. And I also gotta hydrate. I will hydrate after the squats, because normally I'm extra thirsty or some shit like that. Alright, here we go. Oh, I tangled cables. Too many cables. What is 28 out of 34? It's just reaching a approximate minimum for, being able to reach Twitch payouts. Based off of normally I get maybe 18 or 22 people subscribing in a month. I just want to have it's a nice and interesting challenge. No, Furry Cures, that is not a quote. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, Jesus. Hang on. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh. No, you didn't do it correctly, Furry Cures. But I don't think that is something I've actually said on the stream. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Thank you for the 20 squats. Alrighty. Wait, hang on, I need to read it. Because... exclamation point, quote, space, add, space, whatever it is you want to write. Oh yeah, I need to hydrate as well. Hang on. Thank you. Oh, Jesus.
Thanks for the tier 1 subscription, Demon Skull 67.
Thank you, Demon Skull. I appreciate the sub. Yeet. Maybe I should adjust. I should create a camera that's like zoomed out, or I wish there was like a ragdoll camera where it could follow the user. Ooh. Is that a thing? Hang on a second. Let me.
Thank you, Avalon Hoss, for the tier 1 gift, Ricey.
Avalon! Thank you! Do I have an echo thingy-majiggy? Thank you for the— oh, Jesus Christ, why is my tongue out? Why is my tongue out, and why am I de-himbo? There we go. Oh, Avalon de-himboed me, that's why. God damn it, Avalon. We have now started a hype train, and for some reason, my hype train hat isn't out right now. One moment. Is it this button? Yeah, it's this button. I have my conductor hat on. Thank you for starting a hype train, you guys. 3 different people subscribing to me in a really quick succession is very appreciated. We have Demon Skull. We have Avalon, who's gifted a sub to Blue. I very much appreciate it. Now do no. I already did my squats. We will tell you all about it back at the company offices. Alphanod and Tataru are waiting for us there. Yeah, I have like a rudimentary, because I was experimenting with, because the tongue is it's not attached to an armature, it's just a shape key. So you'll notice, you know, how it has like this really weird arbitrary sort of tracking. It's not, you know, properly following a sort of, it's not following the lower jaw or anything like that. Like, it's weird. See, it like literally pushes it forward. It's not like an actual tongue where it's only going through like a normal. Oh, Jesus.
Thank you for the tier 1 gift subscription to Come On Me PLZZ, whomever wishes to remain anonymous.
Whoever sent that subscription to them, I hope you understand you are a horny individual and you should feel ashamed of yourself for knowing that such a user exists. For shame. Hand. For shame. Heathen. Where the fuck am I going? That's a long-ass tongue. Horses can have long tongues. They're not like giraffes where they're like literally, you know, popping out the entire like tongue or something crazy like that when they do it. Also, where am I? Oh, I'm going this way. Okay. Up this way. No furry cures. You know no one here has any power over what I do. Yes, I am very much aware. No, wait, were you the anonymous
Poke
gift subber?
199. Alright, weird dead baby.
I was playing Scorn when that happened. Oh yeah, Scorn has some really weird, fucked up, like, body horror shit. Snappy Tom. Cool. Just null, just absolutely, like, you know. But yeah, thank you for the sub. It is still a success to me. Golf clap. The game fucked me up. Yeah, no, the game was a bit weirdies, I will be real with you. Kozetsu, thank the 12 you are unharmed. As you can see, Master Alphanod, I am the very picture of health. You, vile fiend, malevolent trickster, how kind the kami are to grant me vengeance so soon. But first, I demand you return the coin you so villainously embezzled from me. You have every right to be angry. Good sir, gladly would I return to you your coin had I not been forced to repay certain gambling debts beforehand. Also, is my... Setting that matter aside for the moment, where is Lady Yagiri? She was not with you. For a time, but we parted ways some while ago. The better to improve our chances of finding Lord Haydn. Lord Hien? Forgive me, I have yet to explain. Lord Hien is the heir to the Doma throne and our master. His was a passionate voice for the cause of Doman liberation. Thank you for the pie, I really appreciate it. Also, what's on my... Yeah, a conductor's hat. See? Alright, ignore the pie and ignore the fact that I'm de-himboed right now. Okay, I'm not de-himboed anymore. Look at the hat. I know my hair is spiking through it right now, but that's because of, I didn't, I need to, like, fix a few kinks. Also, can you get off my head, please, so I can show the chat? There we go. See? Conductor. I made this hat. This is a hat of my own invention. It took me way too long to make this hat. I will be real with you, though. I probably could have done a better job making this hat. Fix my kinks. Damn it. I need to like be able to bonk furry cures for being too horny, but at best all I have is gun. It's for the hype train indeed. There's another 50 seconds to go on the hype train, and we got up to level 2 on the hype train. I really appreciate all those who have sent me subs into this thing. So, thank you. If you want to do bits and you want to wonder what some of the things do, 555 bits does a video, 50 bits does a new video as well, anything over 90...
Tragadile has a cool idea for a new rule.
Thank you, Tragadile, for the 5 gifted subs. Also, I just realized my voice is echoing at this point, isn't it? Hang on. How long was my voice echoing all that time? So yeah, thank you so much to the subs to Young Jack Raiden, Spiky Cat, Icy Mapaw, The Cool Pangoro, and to Ark. Thank you so much. You didn't hear an echo? Oh, I need to fix my thing. Oh yeah, it would make sense that there wouldn't be an echo because I'm not going through voice mod anymore. I'm doing my own thingy-madiggy. And we're about to break my last record. What in the world is my last record? What? But yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate the gifted subs. I really do. Thank you. I've not done a hype train in, like, a long time. Like, I think the last time it was also in Final Fantasy XIV when I was, like, really, like, early in the beginning. Where was I? When he learned of the Emperor's death, it only grew louder.
Thank you, Avalon Hoss, for the tier 1 gift sub to Beethoven share.
Thank you, Avalon!
Thank you, Avalon Hoss, for the tier 1 gift sub to D_Serpentine. Thank you, Avalon Hoss, for the tier 1
doing
gift
it for
sub
all
to
of them.
Kahlua.
What is going on?
Thank you, Avalon Hoss,
I'm
for the
getting
tier 1
yeeted.
gift sub to Thorin.
Thank
Thank you,
you,
Avalon
Avalon
Hoss, for the tier 1 gift sub to Sashira.
Sashira.
Avalon Hoss has a cool idea for a new rule.
I need to disable that thingy because that's not actually relevant to while I'm in the middle of stream. That, like, you know, Avalon House has a new idea for a new rule is meant to be when I'm playing a drinking game, or, sorry, let me rephrase that. When I'm playing a video game where there's drinking involved, then 5 gifted subs will be an allowance for you to be able to, like, you know, add in a new rule while I am drinking. That should not be happening often. I should be able to just simply... Where is it? Counter? Yeah, okay. So I should be able to just disable the new rule requested thingy-majiggy. Also, why is my chest still bouncing? There should have come a point where the chest bouncing stopped. Maybe it's when multiple people do it. But thank you so much! We have broken our previous record! We are now up to level 4 on the hype train. I greatly appreciate everyone. I have most likely now risen to, like, you know, the hype train section and such. Avoid the calamity that is my memories. I have. Avalon. Avalon, 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 Avalon. 555 cheer. Do it. Check it out. 555 bits. You will not be disappointed in the video that I found. Can we... Ow. Can we still do that even if you don't play Kingdom Hearts 3? If there's a game that I play where there is drinking involved after Kingdom Hearts 3, absolutely. It's just so... The Crown Prince was a merciless foe. Against him in the might of the 12th, we had no chance. 555 cheer. Yes. It should be 555 cheer. Yay! Bouncy. Once Lord Hand understood this, he bade Yugiri take to the sea with
Avalon
as many...
Hoss paid me to say there you go, nerd.
Ah! Bruh. Yes! Thank you for the 555 bits! Yay! Oh, these? Bong. My boobies? Bong. I love it. I absolutely love the... Ow. I absolutely love, like, the work that the artist has done in their animations and what have you. They have a whole series of them on YouTube. It's fantastic. The heart eyes did not help. Ow. To take the sea with as many of our people as possible. He, however, would stand and fight, that they might have more time to escape. I remained by his side as well, and together we carried on our doomed war, and then, one day, in a fierce battle, we were separated. I knew not what became of him, only that he was beyond the Emperor's reach, and to find him, I would need Yugiri's aid. The situation grows more perilous by the day for the new viceroy. Yotsuyu is a black-hearted villainess who delights in the torment of our people. There is naught she would not do to further her pursuit of Lord Hyun. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly. Lord Hyun. Thank you. I believe that makes matters a good deal clearer. It should please you to learn that we are come to aid the Doman Liberation Front in resuming their efforts to overthrow their imperial oppressors. Yes, I will hydrate. Give me one moment. Wait, next level? What do you mean next level? Oh shit, 89% and there's 20 seconds remaining, although we're probably not going to hit it. Thank you for the hydrate, Furry Cures. I greatly appreciate it. Combination of 5 tier 1 subs or 2,300. Hype train success! Yay! We completed the hype train. We reached level 4 at 89%. Excellent work, everyone. Thank you so much for the gifted subs, Avalon. Bonk. That's the same artist as well who did the bonk. So no, real L mold seed cope. And then there's like Wait, why did it do that twice? Oh, did you cheer? It seems to think you cheered twice. Allow me to join you. My inquiries bore no fruit, hence my desire to return to Othard. Once there, I can lead you to our headquarters in Zania, where we shall be reunited with Yugiri. Mayhaps not all, Alphanaut's talents would seem better applied here in Kugane, working closely with Tataru and Hancock to feed us intelligence. There is a Garlean embassy just down the road, after all. While I appreciate the vote of confidence, I should be glad to accompany you all. As a soldier in the field, so to speak. Come now, brother, a competent commander assigns his soldiers the tasks best suited to them. As you of all people should know, and you are so very good at espionage and intrigue. For we all must serve, each in our own way. Okay, also, I need to take my hat off, because the hat is no longer necessary. There we go. You expected 96 would de-Himbo the Zeebs? No, the one that de-Himbos the Zeebs is something else. One moment. I will find it again. It should be in, like, my descriptor, because I don't like getting de-Himboed, personally speaking. Hey! Chaos! Where's my shirt? Let me find my, thingy-majiggy. Where's the bits? Show me the bits. 420. Gonna start working on your Oz character, because why not? Work is dead. Not to worry! Hopefully you don't get caught doing that nonsense. Also, you have overlap between the two 69-bit redeems. Well, yeah, no, like, the whole, like, I think I also have a redeem at 420. Oh, wait, I can do the gun out. It's so easy. It's so easy. Could you make me more Himbo? Maybe. Actually, now that I have Nyan thingy-madiggy, Wolk mentioned this. There's like a progression to like the Himboism. JPEG this. I just want a picture of a goddamn hot dog.
Furicures 1221 paid me to say you still cutie Himbo.
I can't argue with that. Like, like, one of the reasons why I went on to the VNyan program is because Wolk mentioned that little tidbit as well. So I very much am curious about how Wolk goes about doing it, and maybe going back to him being like, all right, how can you make me even Himboer? Because like what I can probably do is get my Unity package and send it to him. Yes, I admit to being Himbo. I have a Himbo shirt. You probably don't see me wear it very often when I'm playing themed video games, but I have a Himbo shirt. Oh. Oh. Ooh. Oh. Oh. I realize there's something I need to do in StreamerBot. I need to make it so that the redeem is paused or something like that. So then that way the Hyper Himbo doesn't happen again when it... So... Because, yeah, the idea that... The intention of the bits was that, if someone for example, let's say someone extra Himboed me, and you wanted to de-Himbo me, but you didn't want to wait 5 minutes. You wanted to de-Himbo me immediately. if you wanted to do that, you would then have to chalk up the bits to do that. Because what the bit redeem did is that it forced my body back to normal and then, you know, did the bit redeem that you wanted. So in this case, 420 bits would force it to Himbo. And now I'm Himbo again for another, now I'm Himbo for another 5 minutes. So, okay, so Demon Skull still gets their Himbo thingy-majiggy, because I'm still, like, very Himbo right now. That was a real, like, tongue twister of a brain moment there, I'm sorry to say. Yeah, sniffles, excuse me. Sorobin is waiting at the pier. Have fun, you lot. Dun, 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 dun. Alrighty, alright. That was a lot to... Yeah, no, I know it was a lot to take in. Because, alright. Pay is not mine sub. What? Oh, yeah, no, I don't pay for your sub. The Final Fantasy comment. Are people just sort of sitting here? I guess. Come inside, traveler. We're dancers of all shapes and sizes. Oh, poggers. Women. Y'shtola's biggest fan. Whoa. Alright, here we go. People all have their favorite. Yeah, I know people hang out in Limsa Lominsa. Like, that's one of my like regular options. Yeah, Limsa Lominsa lower deck. Normally I set my return, like the freebie return. It's always been going there. Yeah, I got my shirt back. The take umbrage. Yeah, that's me. Thou thee take umbrage in the misfortune and misguided notion that thee hath but a semblance of power over mine. I am more powerful than Avalon Hoss. I am oh so much more powerful than Avalon Hoss. I don't know what you are talking about, Avalon. I am the stonky boy here. You're just, I don't know, a sexy butler or something. It's been a while since I looked at your ref sheet. That's not what was said? What? Nor doth thee shall take umbrage in the misfortune and misguided notion that thee hath but a semblance of power over mine. Like, aren't you saying that, like, you know, don't get, you know, angsty about the fact that that I'm weaker than you? Isn't that what the quote? I can't speak the oldie English. I can't speak the old language.
1221 paid me to say you're the stonky boy. So you admit being stinky?
No. Stonks. Stonks is strength. Stonks is power. Don't take consideration the idea that you have power over me. Ah, okay. Yes, exactly. Awesome. I'm not really great at the old English words. I don't know how do people in the United Kingdom talk like that? Like, doesn't it get confusing talking oldie English all the time? I have been waiting for you, my friend. All preparations have been completed, and my ship awaits its passengers. Shall we depart without further delay? After you, my shelled friend. Look at this Ninja Turtle. Wait, is this turtle on him like straps, or... Hang on. Gasp! He needs straps to put the turtle shell on. You have to know how Uranger speaks. Oh, that's right, I have to listen to that fucking elf. He does like the doth thou protesteth ye thingy sandwich the magoos. He does the weird speaks. Yeah, maps. You know you're in a good fantasy world when they have to give you a map. Oh, damn it. I thought we'd head, like, onto the, like, river or something here, but apparently we get stopped in the sea. Again. There's too many seas.
I remember the water, how it turned crimson in the morning sun.
What race?
A shimmering sea of rubies, stretching from horizon to horizon.
Rabbit girls.
You could almost believe it went on forever. But beyond that red expanse lay a land in turmoil. On the shores of Othard, our Doman brothers struggled in vain.
Is that Jenga off in the distance? Hang on, I thought I saw that. That's a fucking Jenga. What the fuck? What fuck? Hang on, chat. That's a fucking Jenga tower, and it's like piercing the heavens. What the fuck? How is that thing not toppled over? The wind alone should have toppled that thing down. That is ridiculous. Like, the fucking effort. Funny you should say exactly that. Hi there, Velk! Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing alright. You're all the way over in like fucking Endwalker right now, and I'm only like getting more and more into whatsamahoozy, into the into the whatsamahoozy, yeah, Stormblood, that's it. Thank you so much, Velk. How is Final Fantasy working for you? I'm still a bunny boy, by the by. Alright. This is a Ninja Turtle, right? Please tell me the community has agreed on that these guys are like just the Ninja Turtles. How wide and beautiful she is, the Ruby Sea. That's what she said. Filled with promise and adventure and treasure. Many wonderful treasures. Yay. Stink. One does not simply cross the Ruby Sea, as Sorabin well knows. Now, in order to reach the shores of Othard, you will need to cross the resplendent waters you see before you. However, this is easier said than done. To set forth without making the necessary preparations is to invite the Confederacy to claim your vessel, and your life should you resist. But this fate can be avoided by paying the Ruby Tithe, thereby earning you the blessing of the Pirate Lords. The One Piece! So, let us go and greet them. Our destination is the Isle to the west. That doesn't look very far to me, Grant. Why don't we jump in and swim for it? I've had my fill of boats. An excellent idea. I think you shall find the water to your liking. I will use my ship to deliver those less inclined to the Isles. Wait, they're gonna swim? Where am I going? It's kind of funny that, like, we got one ninja guy here. Or, sorry, we got one samurai here, looking very extra stoic. And then we have another guy, who I thought was a ninja, sitting here, also extra stoic. Your fill of boots. You gotta go. You're extremely exhausted. Love you, buddy. Talk to you again soon. Not to worry, Chaos. Thank you for coming along to the stream and joining in on the hype train. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you for the hugs. All right, where am I going? Wait, am I actually gonna have to... I'm gonna have to swim, aren't I? Oh my goodness, I have to fucking swim. What? All right, hang on. R. Just look at me go. Look at this form. Have you guys ever tried swimming for like a long period of time? Like, I've tried doing laps in the pool, like, you know, going like full on, like just doing freestyle. It is tiring. I do not remember like swimming being that hard to do. Maybe it's the fact that I'm like 120 kilos when I'm in the pool right now, but it was, I could do maybe like 4 laps before I got tired. This was a huge thing in Stormblood. We didn't have swimming. Wait, what? You didn't have swimming until this point? So wait, you mean to tell me, because I've swam in some parts of A Realm Reborn because you're at like the Costa del Sol. You're telling me that when you were in Costa del Sol, there were places where you couldn't swim? What? What? You just had to walk the waters. That is fucking stupid. God damn it. This game is also played into the whole, oh, you can't swim until the sequels are released. Oh my goodness. It says I'll beat you there. Okay, where am I racing to? There's Gil on the line. Oh, I just had to follow her. Never mind. Oh my goodness. They really wanted you to swim in this game then. Oh my goodness. Didn't have it until like Shadowbringers. Oh my goodness. What? How much swimming am I going to be doing in this game? In this expansion, how much swimming am I going to be doing? All of it. I'm going to deal with swimming in every zone. Ah, there you are. I trust you enjoyed yourselves. Follow me, my friend. The one with whom we must speak is a man named Tansui. Hey, look, blowfish. Plunge, plunge. Let's see how powerful I am at level 72 against a 62. I just edged out of that thing. Okay, I'm a little bit slow on the being able to whack them hard. Yeah, I switched to V Nyan for my thingy-madiggy. So, and one of the things I'm probably gonna check up with Woolk is the whole, wait, you can do like progressive shape keys. Because if that's the case, then I might change like the hyper himbo thingy-madiggy. So then that way, like it's because it's like it goes from 0 to 100, and because like, you know, the first regime just goes straight to 100, maybe I'll do blah blah. Where's my words? Maybe I'll like, you know, come up with an interesting redeem so then that way people can try and spam the hyper himbo and the D himbo instead. So then that way there's like, maybe I can get away with a blend shape that has like, because on Blender you can have like a blend shape that's like -1 and +1. Don't know. Maybe it'll work. Maybe it won't. I'll need to figure it out. Why am I upgrading my CPU? Ah, yes. The reason why I'm upgrading my CPU is because there are a number of computer games that I want to play, and turns out my PC, while the current CPU I have is okay if I'm only doing older games while VTubing while streaming, it doesn't exactly do a good job if I want to play new games while VTubing while streaming. It's a good CPU, but it's not really good in trying to do multiple things at once. Like, because normally the CPU isn't really that intensive of a resource when you come to playing video games, and it's not that intensive of a resource if you do VTubing. Because sure, you have like 10 or 20% of it being used for the whole face tracking thing, but if I look at my task manager right now, I can see that I am using a lot. I'm using like 98 to 100% of my CPU because not only do I have VC Face, OBS, the Leap Motion, Chrome, and then, you know, what I currently am using VNyan, which is actually using less CPU than VC Face, which I really appreciate. I still have, like, even Final Fantasy XIV, I'm still using 5, and this is an old game, and it doesn't need that much CPU, but it's still like a worthwhile percentage of the CPU, which really adds up when, because most of the programs are only using like 10% of the CPU, or 20% of the CPU, but it still ends up where there's enough programs doing only that much of the CPU that I'm hitting 100. For me, it keeps switching from the 10s to the 20s. Yeah, so that's the kind of area I'm at with my current CPU. Some streamers go for a second PC. Some streamers don't care about their electrical bill. If you really want to up your electrical bill, get a second PC running at the same time. It is absolutely crazy. I already have like a I already have an 850 watt GPU going off. If I, like, as far as like costs breakdown goes, it's easier just going to the bleeding edge available to the motherboard that I currently have for Zen 3 architecture than it is trying to make a, like, in terms of cost and energy consumption, it's better going with, you know, sticking to one PC and getting it to like the best that the motherboard can get it, as opposed to making an entirely second PC for either video game or streaming purposes and have like the first PC be used for the other task. So it's one of those like fun little because there is no, like, there's nothing wrong doing a 2 PC setup. The advantages of a second PC for streaming purposes is that you can you can just do an overall capture of the PC that you play video games and such, and it means that you're not using any of that video game PC's resources in doing the VTuber stuff or any of the redeems and yada yada, which means that when the PC crashes because of a video game, it's not crashing your entire system. And that's one of the benefits when you're working with technology, is you want to try and separate as much of the shit as possible. So for example, the microphone I'm using, some people might want to use like a headset, so the microphone's on the headset, but personally I like having a microphone even when I'm not streaming, because if something is bad about the microphone, I can just replace the microphone. It's not gonna happen, however, because I'm having more issues with my headset, but thankfully I don't have to worry about the quality of my mic when I swap to a new set of headphones. And I don't have to worry about the headphones having a microphone in them because, you know, I've got this mic right here. And it's one of those advantages as well where paying a $60 premium on a headset is not as worth as just paying $50 on the separate microphone. And the $50 microphone is so much better than whatever premium you had to pay to get the microphone in your headset. Sorry for info dumping about technology and such like that. So you'll be getting a visual upgrade sometime in a year or so. Oh. I fear you have the advantage of me. Yeah, Most honorable and esteemed GrantZeebs, I am Tansui, a humble mate who serves at the pleasure of the Confederacy's captain. As you are in the company of the Shellback, I presume we have business to discuss. I hear the phrase Confederacy and I can't help think about the South. I really hope this Confederacy doesn't end up being the villains, and I really, really hope they don't have any, like, racial tendencies towards them. I just hope they're just a Confederacy, and that's it. You have Sennheiser stuff because you like their quality. I would probably get some audio stuff, to be honest. Yes, Sennheiser is, like, one of the big brands as far as audiophilia goes. Like, here, like, if you look back like 10 or 20 years ago, gaming brands was a bit of a bad title back when we first heard it, because at the time people were just sort of like, oh, they're gamers, let's just throw some RGB on it and give them like a $60 premium, they'll eat that shit up because, you know, gamers you know, we can sell them, because half the time, you know, things that would work well for businesses, quite frankly, would work well for gamers. You just need to, like, pull back some of, like, the crazier features businesses normally ask for to satisfy gamers. But then people were like, oh, let's just give them, like, you know, really shitty qualities and put in a premium price by, you know, adding in some visual flair to it or something or other. Not necessary. And like, in today's age, in 2020, because of Corsair, Elgato, Steel Series, like, those are brands that are very much gaming / streaming enthusiast brands, and they don't get caught up in, you know, selling you a gamer tax. Like, they are very much interested in, you know, getting you to, you know, buy their brands because of brand, like, loyalty and just overall, like, resiliency. Sennheiser is a really good brand, and Sennheiser, like, it's really upsetting that Sennheiser, they tried to do a gaming division so as to properly separate their, you know, their audiophilia tech. Cookie for Denny. Here's your cookie, Denny. They tried to do a gaming division, so then that way they didn't have to attach Sennheiser, where they had like a huge number of audiophilia such, to, you know, gamers who may not really care about, you know, being able to have like XLR headsets or something crazy like that, or the monitors. Yoshi ate me again? Oh, you mean Code the Yoshi? Hang on, did he really eat me? Hang on. Also, I see where Barista has, like, the Hungry Jack's colors. I'm listening to Code right now. He's like, no, I didn't eat a Grant burger. Who told him? Alright, let me see if I can... is there a bonk? Yes, there's a bonk. There we go. I'm gonna bonk him with the bat. Bonk. That's for eating me. That's for eating me, Code. Alright, mute that and get back into my game. Yeah, e-posts. Here's the problem, however. There's nothing like inherently wrong about e-posts. They were towing the line between, you know, still making their good tech and making it like cheap for video games and such, like, or like, you know, video game enthusiasts and what have you, which is that's a tough tightrope to balance and such. Only one of their models is still with Sennheiser quality, the rest is yeah, because I think they sold off e-posts, so it's not even Sennheiser properly managing e-posts anymore. But here's one of the bigger issues. Sennheiser is very, like, I'm currently wearing a pair of Anchor Sound Core headphones. The earmuffs are losing their quality. The thing, like the head strap is losing its quality as well. And I cannot change the battery or the earmuffs. There's nothing about this headset that I can, like, repair or something like that. Whereas with the Sennheisers, you can swap out the earmuffs. If they're wireless, you can swap out the batteries. Sennheiser has a really good warranty. They have a really great support system as well. So when you buy one pair of Sennheisers, you are most likely able to wear those Sennheisers for 10 or even 20 years. Anchor, in your experience, has really good power banks and chargers. That's it. Yeah, no, that's half the reason why I went for these headphones, is because these headphones, 60 hours of playback. I have not seen a pair of headphones from Steel Series or from Logitech where I would get more than 30 hours. And here was a company who I knew did good charges and did good power banks, telling me I can get at least 60 hours of charge time on a pair of headphones. Oh, absolutely. I believe them, and that is not my issue. And what's more is the sound quality, it works for me. Like, it's Bluetooth connected, that's fine. I'm not really doing, you know, sounds where I have to be, like, you know, right down to the millisecond. I can have that 30 to 80 millisecond delay. You have an E-Post headset and you can get new earbuds. You probably should, actually, since they're gel and leather faux leather. Yeah, so that's the thing, is that Sennheiser headphones, they last the decades. which means, like, you know, you have your initial boom because, you know, Sennheiser releases new shit, but unless you're in the audiophilia industry where you want, like, the pinnacle best, like, you're not normally gonna buy new things. Harris Heller made this explanation where, like, it's apparently used in, like, the audio producing community where it's, like, it's called the, it's like the, I can't remember the phrase, but basically it was this explanation that so long as you reached, like, some, like, level of quality or something like that, you were not going to get any loss in terms of when you had to compress your work down for distribution either on discs or online. And basically it was saying that, like, because of streaming and what have you, there's, like, this sort of, like, there's this sort of ceiling that you reach in terms of audio quality and what have you. So, but you have all these, like, you know, headphones and microphones and what have you, where they will meet that ceiling and they will be able to go past it. And so even if you do, like, compression work or any of that kind of such, it won't ever go below that ceiling. It's you won't lose out on the quality for when you're distributing. It's why I use Sennheiser a lot. You did a lot of editing and audio stuff a while back as a hobby. I'll need to find the video again and share it with you because they talked about it. Monitors, basically. I'll find the video that Harris Heller was talking about because he was sort of explaining how like when it comes to purchasing of microphones and monitors and such like that, like there's that sort of, like, you know understanding of, like, the scale of quality of, like, work of goods and such like that when it comes to, like, you know, products for producing shit. I'll need to find the video because it does a really good job explaining it. I'm currently using an Audio-Technica mic right now because previously I was using, like, a newer, like, NWEWER. I was using, like, that $10 to $20 microphone from Amazon, which did the job. It was better than my headset microphone, and after a while I was like, you know, I want a better quality microphone with, you know, a little bit better of a dynamic range. So then I went to this Audio-Technica, which is fairly reliable right now. There's a little bit of dust on the thingy-majiggy, but that's my fault. But either way, it's good. I like them. Sennheiser, Audio-Technica, like, a lot of the audiophilia brands, they are good brands. You are probably not going to notice, like, a big difference unless you do EQ manipulation between the different brands when you're looking at online or streaming content. The differences start coming in when you start doing, you know, what Avalon was saying earlier, where you start doing editing, or let's say, for example, DJing, like what Kusaki does. There's like a much different, like, realm of differences only once you enter in, like, this higher form of audio listening, or higher form of audio content. You wish to pay the ruby tithe, yes? With your gil, I perhaps. It is just as well. Foreign currencies are in demand these days. I would pay for their passage to Othard. Does this sum meet with your satisfaction? The sea has been quite tempestuous of late. I cannot say with confidence that you would reach your destination safely. Unless you tripled it. Do you take me for a fool? I know the price, as do all. Alas, we live in interesting times. As you came from Kugane, I should think I need not tell you that. The shadow of war looms. The wise and the cautious shirk our waters, our customs. And the foolhardy sharpen their knives in anticipation. Meaning? Sir, you've got to come quickly. The bastards are at it again. Hi there, Sashera. Yeah, we got a hype train. We got up to, like, level 4. It was really cool. There was, like, a lot of things going on, and I wore a conductor hat when I was doing it as well. I tried to convince them to stop, but they weren't having it. Very well. I will be there shortly. You have to watch via BlueStacks because the site keeps lagging? Oh. What's BlueStacks? Mobile gaming platform for PC and Mac. Ooh, what? Is that what you're talking about? Huh. So basically it works as like an Android emulator, it seems like. Interesting. Huh. U2C, high FPS, macros, shooting. Huh. Android, okay. That's weird that the... Maybe it's because I'm in Australia and you get this lagging issue? Because, although to be fair, I am streaming this at like 1080p right now and sending like, you know, nearly 5,000 kilobytes per second. I might need to lower that kilobyte thingy-majiggy or lower the quality normally. Because maybe transcoding it doesn't have a fun time. A proposition. Your comrades strike me as a worthwhile investment. I would not hear men name me a cat before Kuban, so I shall consider your tithe paid. Not for what they have done, but for what I expect they will do. I'm not sure what to make of that man, but at least the matter of our tithe is settled. For now. What was that he and the other pirate were talking about? Maybe we ought to go and have a look. Ooh, Yizin, one of the things, this happened on one of my laptops at work a while ago. Don't ask me why I was like looking at a lot of Twitch tabs while at work on the laptop. That's irrelevant to this question. Here's some, it might be worth, if you're, are you using a laptop right now or are you using like a custom desktop? Hang on a second, let me put my nerd glasses on. You're using a okay, so if you're... One of the things you might... Oh, a pre-built BC. Okay, one of the things you might want to double check then, figure out what your graphics unit is and your CPU are, and... Actually, no, hang on. Sorry, not your CPU. Or maybe you need your CPU. No, yes, no. Figure out what your motherboard and your GPU is, and you may want to double check if the manufacturer's website has any updates for the motherboard and or the GPU, because sometimes they'll have like driver updates for stability and security, and they might actually have some improvements in place, so then that way the resource utilization on Chrome isn't, you know, as narrowed. Everything seems updated. Not via Windows Update won't give you a really good indicator if it's up to date. Windows Update is really good for Microsoft OS updates. It's not really that great in terms of driver and firmware updates like an NVIDIA graphics card or, you know, one of your pre-built PCs with the thingy. Oh, I thought you said Chrome. Oh, I read tabs and I thought Chrome. My mistake. I'm trying to think. I think Firefox might be CPU intensive, so... This is gonna sound crazy, but... Have you tried using Microsoft Edge? Okay, so I need to go... Wait, the... Ooh, bonus XP! Hang on a second. Ignore the fact that I just fell. I need to, like, figure out my way around this place. Oh my goodness, there's gonna be a lot of swimming. You are right. That's just a fucking Tetris tower. You refuse to use the thing Microsoft keeps shoving down your throat? It is... I will be real with you. It is annoying, but fun fact. Like when you compare burger joints, if your burger joint can't be better than McDonald's, it's not a worthwhile burger joint. If your problem isn't happening on Microsoft Edge, it's a problem with your browser. It's one of those, like, fun little things where it's like, you know, trust but confirm where the problem is. Oh, it's a flying shark. Boys with boats. Alright, where the fuck is the boys with the boat? Search for Tuts. Oh, hang on. Doesn't seem to be doing that much. Okay. Fair enough. It's there. Okay. Switches from 10. Oh, okay. So the CPU, your computer's CPU switches from like 10 to 20%. Radio. Gasp. What does the Ninja Turtle find? Oh, it's the red Ninja Turtles.
Gentlemen, I'm told you are most unreceptive to my associate's requests. I realize you do not look kindly on the Confederacy and her ways, but if you refuse to pay the ruby tithe, your safety in these waters cannot be assured.
Spare me your concern, pirate. Your feeble attempts at extortion will not work on us.
Huh.
You remain at large because we allow it. Because you are such insignificant little pests that we see no need to swat you. But if you wish to risk the ire of the Viceroy, by all means, fire upon an Imperial vessel. Give us a reason to bring the full might of the Garlean Empire to bear against your pathetic fleet.
I'm trying to remember, is the naval force of the pirates greater than the Garleans are willing to put in the ocean?
Bastards!
Gentlemen, surely the fact that you have such limitless resources at your disposal gives you all the more reason to spare some few coins for the less fortunate.
All talk, just as I thought. Come, let us away. I have no time for this rubbish.
We're all the same to them, aren't we? Savages to be ruled or slaughtered.
They've always balked at paying the ruby tithe, but they were never so eager to pick a fight.
If you're ever gonna make a character British, consider Noel Fleming of the Mighty Boosh. What about Greg Davies?
The problem, you see, is that many of my comrades in the Confederacy are of Doman descent. And the acting Viceroy, well, she's none too fond of Domans, to say the least. If we take any action to hinder the safe passage of an Imperial vessel, she'll accuse us of attempting to foment rebellion and brand us enemies of the Empire, which we can ill afford to be. Like the man said, we're all talk.
Ah.
And where did the Kojin stand in all this?
With the winning side, of course. They're mercenaries to a fault, eager to offer their services without coercion. The Shellback could tell you more, though something tells me he would rather not.
Yeah, he's not with us right now, weirdly enough.
I don't understand. If the Garleans are causing the Confederacy this much trouble, and if so many of you are Doman to begin with, why aren't you willing to fight back?
Probably because of one of those really fun fascist tools where the original divide was towards lesser forces. Joe's Garage.
Spoken like a true friend of the Doman Liberation Front. If you're planning to rouse us with noble words and grand promises, don't bother. We all know what the Imperial Army can do. Compared to them, we're boys with boats.
Excuse me.
Besides, what ties a man may once have held to his home are forsaken upon joining the Confederacy. We look out for none but our own.
Noted. Weird that you bring it up, but noted.
Be that as it may, our livelihood is under threat. And the captain will need to decide soon whether we're to go down in a blaze of glory or bow and scrape for crumbs from the Emperor's table.
Oh, we need to go in a
All
blaze
while
of
our
glory.
friend the Viceroy continues her purge of Doma's radical elements. I believe she's holding court in one of the fishing villages even as we speak.
Oh, damn, it's getting late.
That she-devil! Her perfidy knows no bounds!
Does it now?
She must be stopped! Come, let us find Soroban and put us here at once!
Put a pin in that.
Tell the others that these ones have paid.
What time is it for me? It is 8:50 p.m. right now. So I'm probably gonna like wrap up whatever mission I'm going through in the next few minutes and see about raiding into someone shortly. That's normally how the schedule... On a good day, it's usually like a 3-hour sort of stream, which we're gonna be crossing over in a few minutes, so... Jesus Christ! You can get it. I have so many night owls. Oh my goodness. This is why I contemplate streaming like Sunday mornings, is so then that way, you know, the Americans have a chance of viewing me rather than in the like early morning. They can view me in like the evenings. What are we waiting for? Come! Hang on a sec, I got the button for this. Come! Sorbin cannot have gone far. Though now that I think of it, is it passing strange that he left without warning? Mayhaps he did not wish to be seen by his Kojin brethren. Thank you for the peck dance, Yizin. Also, hi there, Savage. Welcome back. I doubt he thought to leave us behind, but nevertheless, it may be prudent to return to his ship, or at least to the Confederate encampment. Alright, so... Can I just, like, run over the... Okay, I think I can just run over all this. The peck dance is funny. That is the point of the peck dance. It looks sexy and it looks funny, though, so it can't be, you know, demonetized for being, like, you know, a 100% sexy thing. It's just a goofy bounce. Jump. Jump, 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 jump. Alright, can I cross over this thing successfully? No, I have to... Damn it. I have to walk around this thing. It's kind of silly seeing giant sharks just swimming above the water. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Bomb. I didn't see how much that damage that did. Yay, I was able to defeat a fish. Aether Current! I was wondering when I was going to start seeing some of these things. Alright, I'm going to need to double check how many of them are around here. I've attuned with the Aether Current. Alright, travel Aether Currents. So, the Fringes have 3 missions, 2 spots. The Peaks, meanwhile, have all the side missions and 3 spots. The Ruby Sea, 3 explorations and 6... My goodness, it's always 6 and 4, isn't it? There's always like 10 things I need to do. Sora also streams. Or, sorry, not Sora. Savage. Savage also streams. Look at this buff Durg. Oh, my friends, 1,000 pardons. As you may have guessed, I was reluctant to be seen in your company by my red brothers. Ours is a complex, relationship. No. Savage isn't Sora. It's just a slip of the tongue. I pray you do not misinterpret their actions as a reflection of our allegiances as a whole. You understand? Kami be praised! Too often are shell-lists quick to judge old Kojin for the deeds of one. Right then, now that our business with Tansui is concluded, we can traverse the Ruby Sea without fear. Yay. I shall return to the ship and prepare for our departure. If you have any remaining business to conduct with the pirates here, I pray you do so now. Ah, that reminds me, Grant. Would you be so kind as to inform the Confederates of our plan? The more they know of our movements, the less like we are to be mistaken for another vessel by their comrades. There is something floating above me right now. I can see in the shadow a pair of wings. Something was, like, floating above me, I swear. I'm not crazy. There was something floating. Oh my goodness, what did Wild Saber just write? Hang on a second. Plan on making a new OC, a young female werewolf that wears armor and whale weapons made of plants. The armor looks metal, but is wood, and the sword and shield just like the armor were grown instead of forged. Ah! I'ma be real, that sounds very familiar to a character I created. Not a Persona character, but I think what you want to look at is look up the MTG card Tanglewood armor. I think that might have, you know, the kind of inspiration you're thinking of. Or, ooh, actually, also, the Jedi Wookiee from Clone Wars. That's another one to look at for inspiration. Because they've got, like, a wooden hilt for their lightsaber. It's pretty cool. Please don't be racist. Oh, you're one of the Ijin from the beach. God fucking damn it. Leaving already? No need to pay the tithe like Tansu said. On the other hand, if you were to peruse our wares and find something anything to your liking, we should be glad to sell it to you for a fair price. Up, there he is. I see him. I saw you in the shadows. I saw you in the shadows. I saw your fucking bug shadow, like, across the ground, and I looked up at the right time. I found you. Ruffles. Yeah, it sounds like a fun name. Is looking for an individual who can freely enter the Ruby Price. Alright, let me know. Yes, you. Yes, you. Do you know of the Ruby Price? The fortress in the middle of Ruby Sea from which the Bakufu soldiers survey the surrounding waters? The other day, we found one of their men stowed away on a ship we confiscated. With a bit of coaxing, he eventually confessed to doing some underhanded trading with the Red Kojin on behalf of his superior. Seems he thought he could avoid paying the Ruby tithe by hiding aboard someone else's ship. But no one gets away with crossing our waters free of charge. As such, I am looking to track down this superior of his and have him compensate us. If I try to sail to the Ruby Price and look for him myself, however, I'll be blasted to smithereens before I even make it halfway there. Do you think you could do in my stead? You could go in my stead. There is a man by the name of Ikaruga there. He is an old friend and should be able to identify who our captive superior is. Will do. Alright, where am I going? I'm going this way. How far am I going? Oh, can I just drop down from here? Yes. Dink. Dunk. Got an idea from Rune, as there are weapons called sword flowers and shield flowers, and the better you grow them, the higher the stats they are. That's a cool thing from Rune Factory. I like the idea of like sort of nature, sort of bridling in, like sort of nature coming in hand with like more modern sort of like uses. So rather than it just being like crude axes and such, you can have like cultivated vines and what have you to be like, you know, sharpened blades or pole arms. Quarterstaffs. That's another one as well. We still use wood for quarterstaffs. Wait, am I going the right way? No, I'm not. How? What? Oh, they were at the bottom of the thingy-majiggy. Okay. Can I sprint in water is the question. Yay, I can sprint in water. Thank goodness. Look at me go, freestyle.
Furry Cures 1221 thinks you should do 20 squats.
Ah, okay. I gotta do my 20 squats. Alrighty. Here we go. And the hydrate afterwards. Big stretch for the big boy. Here we go. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Thank you for the 20 squats. I appreciate it. I am now up to 80 squats in this stream. You have spoken with the Confederates up above, then? Excellent. If you are ready to depart, we may do so at any time. All aboard. Then let us be off. I shall deliver you to the fishing village of Asari. Wait, Tansui said that the Viceroy was holding court in one of the fishing villages, did he not? Should Asari chance to be the village in question, we could instantly find ourselves surrounded by Imperial soldiers. I think it would be safer to come ashore some distance away. Ow. Very well. I know just the place. Speak with Soraban. Video got out of sync, so you had to reload the page. Not to worry. Soraban. Next cutscene. My free company isn't too active, I'm sorry to say, Tragodile. I haven't been able to, like, go into this, like, very often and do, like, say, for example, like, Saturday midnight, or, like, I haven't been able to do a lot of cool activities within the free company, I'm sorry to say. I'm a very introverted person. Here we are. I am reasonably certain none bore witness to our approach. And with this, I believe I have fulfilled the terms of our agreement. Aye, that you have. You have my deepest thanks, Soraban. Truly, we are blessed to have befriended such a clever and industrious merchant. Oh, you are much too kind, good sir. I know not where your path may lead, but I wish you the very best, and hope that we shall meet again. You... Another hydrate, it seems. Thank you for the hydrate. So, we finally arrived in Othard. All we need to do now is... Liberate Doma. Ah, yes, that. Look, daunting though it is, we do have one thing in our favor. The element of surprise. Unlike in Garabania, the Imperials don't know we're here. Admittedly, that may be our only advantage, knowing how few of us there are. Well, I expect the Doman Liberation Front will even up the odds a bit, but before all that, we need to see if this is the fishing village Tansui was talking about. The superior element Australia? Australia is not an element. It may well be. I smell ceruleum on the breeze. Oh, I was thinking AU as in Australia. I didn't realize that, like, you were meaning A, like capital A, lowercase u. Like, no, hang on. Gold, atomic table. It's, yeah, capital A, lowercase u.
Pointlessly excessive.
If only you knew how commonplace such scenes have become. Are we too late?
Yes.
Over there, someone's coming.
Gasp, who's coming? Oh, it's this guy again! We've been beating his ass, like, left and right so many times. And he's like...
It is she, sworn enemy of Doma, of my master. The traitor who sold her homeland to the Garleans, Yotsuyu.
You want it in that form, Furry Cures, but be advised, I've actually limited what kind of people are able to put in quotes, because I've started getting an excessive number of quotes inserted, that it's kind of only, it's minimized towards moderators and subscribers now. I'll add in your quote, however, on my side. One moment. There we go.
GrantZeebs has added quote number 322. Australia is not an element.
Yeah.
The Viceroy herself.
Wait. Hang on. I just read Sashera's message. You simp for this girl? Hang on. We'll get a view of her shortly, I'm fairly sure. This lady right here, you're simping for this fucking, like... I don't know how to describe this aesthetic.
How very Doma. What I wouldn't do for a drink.
What is this aesthetic? This isn't like tsundere. This is just bitchy. Like, she's just... If you combined Wednesday Addams with, like, you know, just antagonist peeps.
Come now. You've no reason to look so afraid. You have lived through a quarter of a century of Garlean rule, remember?
Oh my goodness. Hi there, Bruiser.
'Tis better to bend with the wind than stand tall and be broken. Therein lies hope. Therein lies freedom.
That is a terrible quote.
I come before you today seeking affirmation. A heartfelt declaration. You are free to answer me as you see fit, yet even the least among you should know the correct response. Should.
I am doing relatively okay. It is past 9 p.m. right now, and I've been going through more of Stormblood in Final Fantasy.
A resident of your village, one of your neighbors, mayhap your friend, was detained by the Korjin this morning. They say he was attempting to flee to Kugane, but we both know that simply isn't true, don't we?
I've heard, like, better quotes.
Bit slow, this one. Is there anyone more sensible among you? Have any of you anything to say? To swear?
Can we, like, get into a fight? Oh, God, someone's
My
gonna
lady,
rat.
I swear to serve the Empire, to do whatever is asked of me, and never disobey.
Well said, that man. Of course, it wouldn't do to simply take you at your word.
Oh, is it now? Okay. Damn. I thought Domans, like, trusted other Domans. Oh. Where were you hiding that? Oh, she has that fucking, like,
Kill him.
Wart thingy.
Surely you can do that much. He must be guilty of something or other, or he wouldn't have
It's
attempted
9
to flee the Empire.
p.m. I haven't had breakfast.
I have a family.
I know how women like them can be in power. Like, the Garlean Empire has, like, a weird mix of, like, Nazism to them, I feel, a little bit, and then just normal conqueror tropes to them. This woman, I understand, like, why they put her in there, because as the fact that at the end of the day, Garleans are treating her right, and she was in a position where she wasn't going to be in a better position, politically speaking, unless there was a huge upset or she did a good favor with the people in the current system. Obviously, with her personality, she wasn't going to be a good person in the existing system, so she decided to be a bit of a bitch and ruin the system that she was currently in order to be on top, and didn't care for the ramifications of those down below. Did we... Oh, you motherfucker. Did we really not try to intervene on this?
Oh, very, very good. I've always had a soft spot for men like you.
Oh, no.
Next, I want you to shoot those two over there. Too old to work, you understand. A burden on the Empire. We can't have that.
You're crazy.
But they're my parents. You can't expect me to...
Okay, you're an idiot. That's not how guns work. Oh, wait, no, never mind. I forgot. I thought his was just like a single action flint. So that was like my first thought of, great, you've already wasted your one bullet. You very unlikely have another bullet to work with. Let's see.
He's right. They would simply take the villagers hostage.
We need to hit them when they're
we must consider the wider
busy
picture.
with us.
If we act recklessly, we risk alerting the Garleans to our presence here, making it that much harder for us to work with the local rebels. To say nothing of the reprisals ordinary civilians would be made to suffer.
Open your eyes, girl. They are already suffering. Let me go. I am putting an end to this madness. I will approach the village alone and identify myself as a former leader of the rebellion and a known fugitive. They will wish to detain me until they are certain they have learned all I know.
Oh, cool. So we're just going to use him
did to
as
the villagers. Who knows what they'll do to you, assuming they don't kill you where you stand?
We live and die at the pleasure of the Kami. My fate is in their hands and no others. If it be of any comfort, I am no stranger to chains.
That's not really comforting.
You can't expect us to stand idly by as a comrade goes marching off to his death. And this is nothing like Kugane.
Nor is it like the Reach, Lise, or the Wall. Let him go. Hold out for as long as you can, but remember, noble sacrifices are to remain an absolute last resort. I wish I could say it won't come to that, but only the gods know how we're going to get you and the others out in one piece. A miracle, perchance.
Or a warrior of light.
A great tower stands to the north and east. Look to its occupants for aid and succor. Together, you may yet find your miracle. Now,
is he
leave
talking
this
about
place.
the Jenga tower?
I must go.
He better not be talking about the giant Jenga tower that was off in the distance I saw the minute we were in the Ruby Palace.
Oh. Another idiot like all the rest. I'm beginning to think it may be something fundamental. Something intrinsic. Something quintessentially
Yes, I am a zebra.
Doman to ignore the simple truth. You can't do a damn thing if
Have
you're
you not
dead.
seen me? Like, look at this. Look at these stripes. Zebra.
Enough, Yotsuyu!
The guy in the background's just like, ugh.
Well now, this is a surprise.
Hear me, Yotsuyu! Cease this farce, here and now, and I shall surrender myself to you. Refuse, and
Hey,
all
there's the Jenga
shall
tower
answer
again.
to my blade.
Bring him to the tavern.
A very, what's-a-mahoozy, something. Zebra. Does she... Oh my god. Ah! I hate her. When is the stream going to end? Let's have it end in the next minute. Shall we? Hang on a sec. Is this the ending thingy? No, it isn't. Hate it as much as you are, maybe even more. Every fiber of my being was crying out to intervene, but what's done is done. Gozetsu's gamble has gifted us the time we need to find a solution. He bade us seek aid at the distant tower, yes? For want of a better idea, I say we do just that, while taking care to avoid the Imperials. Alrighty. Hopefully that's like a safe haven or something like that, the thing they want me to go to. Oh my god, there is so much swimming involved. Are you actually being serious with me? What the what? There is actually so much swimming. All right, let me sprint through this fucking water. Swim. Look at me go. Look at that form. Majestic. And now we're back to butterfly. And I'm technically moving faster than the actual, like, motion of the character, weirdly enough. Alright, and then... I swear we're going to the... Okay, we're not going to the tower. Up there's this and the peeps. It does have teleport, or it's an aetherites at least. Thank goodness. And I can't wait for when I finally get all the aether currents and side quests done in this area for, like, you know, running aroundness. We seem to have evaded their patrols so far. What is that tower anyway? I've never seen anything like it. According to my map, we are on Onokoro, and the tower is known as Heaven on High, a mysterious structure built long ago by persons unknown. Oh gods, listen to me. I'm starting to sound like Alphanaud. Next thing you know, I'll be saying things like, as you are doubtlessly already aware. Over there! Do you see it? Doesn't look like it's been dead long. Whoever did it. Of course someone had to hit it. Whoever did this, they're a good shot, and I can't see a single stray arrow. Well, someone's hungry. Wait, that wasn't either of you two, was it? It's another beast. Oh, it's these weird demon sea dog things. Calm down. We had nothing to do with... Wait, what am I doing? They can't possibly understand us. Probably not, no. Time to run, Lise. We save our strength for any that give chase. You too, Grant.
Did you
Yes,
see
I've done Palace of the Dead, actually. I've done Palace of the Dead. I want to figure out how I can do that, you know, pop up an image, play a sound in like HTML canvas or something like that. So then that way, if need be, like I can have the "did you see it" spammed. So then that way, if multiple people hit it, it's multiple things being pointed at. Hopefully I only have to hit these two things. Oops, something's crawling on my back. What the fuck is that? Oh, that's just a fly. Never mind. I thought I was dealing with I thought I was dealing with something creepy. There we go. Alrighty, now moving on. I'm just gonna sprint past all these things. Damn it, are you telling me 10 levels isn't enough to avoid them? I thought 10 levels was more than enough to be able to, like, you know, avoid, like, having to get into confrontations with these, like, symbolized thingy-madoogs. Oh, there they are with more of the thingies. Oh, God. Ah, damn it. You think it's 11 plus? Oh, it's 11. Okay. That's annoying. I thought it was 10. Bang. There we go. Hey, we get hides from them. Okay, so this is probably someplace I'm gonna need to go to get things for crafting. Just imagine if they'd taken us by surprise. What a fine ending that would have been to our story. Anyway, I think it's safe to assume that the people at the tower know how to defend themselves. You'd have to, sharing an island with these things. Now, all we need to do is convince them to help us. Awesome. Cool. Fantastic. I'm gonna swim to purposely... Oh, actually, sprint again. Meow. 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 Heaven on High is just Palace of the Dead for... Yeah, that's what I've learned. Because that's sometime... Like, I took part in that, and that's apparently, like, a really good way in doing, like... If you're, say, for example, playing a new class or what have you, or a new job, apparently going, like, into Palace of the Dead or Heaven on High is a fun way to, you know, learn about your new class and to get some really quick level ups. Oh! There's a settlement here! And they even got their own aetheryte. Wait a minute. I've seen that standard before. It was when we met with Tansui, which means this place belongs to... Oh. Oh, we get an Eastern Bow if we do this mission. It would seem we have found a Confederate settlement. Mayhaps even their headquarters, judging by the size of this place. So, Gotetsu bade us seek out the Confederacy for aid and succor. The self-saying Confederacy that refuses to openly oppose the Empire. Well, nothing ventured, nothing gained, I suppose. At the very least, they're unlikely to ask us for the tithe. Yes. Hopefully they will not ask for a fee to fight against the Garlean Empire. Dun, 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 dun. But yeah, one of the things I definitely need to do with my Dark Knight is go further on with like some of these dungeon missions I have and the Zodiac weapon. I have so many things I need to get going with doing. I need to understand if I want to get into Destiny 2, I need to figure out, like, you know, what I need to do in Kingdom Hearts 3, improve my stream, improve my 3D. So many things to do. Alright. 30 things in your mail. Oh, is that because you have, like, an account-wide, like, mounts or something that are available across all characters, not just one? What brings you hither, of all places? Were you not bound for Othard's shores? I see. I trust you have not forgotten our previous conversation on the subject. No? Then what do you want? A second opinion? Very well. Come with me. I will take you to Captain Rasho. Just like that, an audience with their leader. How very accommodating. We must needs choose our words carefully. You leave it to me. I've always been good with people, and this will also give me a chance to use the Eastern greeting they showed me in Revenant's Toll. It sounds like I feel like I was just watching a child that was like, you leave it to me. I know exactly what to say. And I want to try out the new chopsticks I bought. Does everyone in chat know how to use chopsticks? And are you good with them? Like, can you do it with noodles and rice? Rice, I feel, is extra annoying when it's not, you know, sticky enough. If the rice isn't sticky, you're in for a hard time when it gets, like, closer to the end where it's only, like, the single thingy-madukes. Greetings! You must be Rasho, leader of the Confederacy, and so on. I realize this is all a bit sudden, but the thing is, we have a little favor to ask. Oh gods, I've probably broken half a dozen rules of Far Eastern etiquette already. Well, I'm sorry about that, but you have to understand we're in a hurry, so I'm going to stop talking now. It's rice can be sticky. That's not a weird thing. Like, you can, like, do you think the rice in sushi is dry? It's sticky. They do this, like, cool rolly thingy-madiggy, and when they cook it and such, so then that way it sticks together. Like, if you're using like a dry kind of rice with the sushi, you're gonna be in for a bad time. Men who revere manners and tradition can be found the world over, but not here. Your candor is appreciated. Speak your heart. Gozetsu, a former leader of the rebellion. I know him. When he bade you petition us for aid and succor, however, I know not. At the risk of repeating myself, to join the Confederacy is to renounce all other ties. We are beholden to none, allied with none. When Doma was invaded by the Empire 25 years ago, we did not rush to her defense. Knowing this, do you honestly expect us to help you drive the Imperial forces out of Asari? The Garleans have long maintained a presence in this region, and we would be fools to break the peace, fragile as it is. Besides, you are capable warriors, yes? With guile and preparation, you can certainly resolve this matter yourselves. It is imperative that our presence here remains secret for as long as possible. For us to openly engage the Imperials at this time would endanger everything we have come here to achieve. You have told us why you cannot fight, not why we should fight in your stead. If you would speak to me of lives saved, I would speak to you of slaughter. How many will die when all pretense is lost and the Garleans declare war on the Confederacy? Hate is a luxury we cannot afford. You are free to come and go as you please, but you will receive no further aid. Thanks for your hospitality. If you would excuse us. 7 mounts, 12 minions, and 5 sets of clothes. Damn, and is that all from anniversary stuff? I've only been getting clothes from the anniversary shit. Dun, 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 dun. Hey, Grant. I know that didn't go well, but I'm prepared to give up on them. I'm not prepared to give up on them yet. Gozetsu told us to come here for a reason. He must have believed we could convince them to help us. We just have to work out how. My thoughts exactly. I'm glad to hear we're of the same mind. 'Tis little wonder they refuse. We have done naught to persuade them. The real work begins now. We need to learn more about the Confederacy, what their needs and weaknesses are. Once we know that, we will know how to earn their trust. Alrighty, and they want us down... Oop. Jump. Gather information. Excuse me while I break my legs to gather information. Arms crate. Are they really just using fishing gear? The arms and armor have been piled up haphazardly. They display no sign of recent use or maintenance. Oh, they are apps. These guys are just not doing anything right, I feel. Did I attune to this thing yet? Summer Collector's Edition before they reset their subscription reward. Ah, okay. Dun 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 dun. I'm waiting for this mission to finish, so then that way, like, once this mission is done and I get my cool Eastern Bow, then I'm gonna end the stream here. Dun 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 dun. Nawashiro. Taking an interest in the ship, huh? Good eye. She's not much to look at, but once upon a time, she was a beauty. The Confederacy favors flotillas of smaller ships to capture and board errant vessels. The larger ones, like this Sekabune, only take part in major engagements. Not that we've had any of those recently, what with those Imperial bastards throwing their weight around. If it wasn't for them, well, no use moaning about what you can't change, eh? Alrighty. And then... Oh, someone's naked. What the fuck happened there? Bonkai. Bonkai, why do you have naked men here? If you refuse to pay the Rui tithe, you will strip you of everything you have, including the very clothes on your back. That is not cash money of you. That is weird. Ah, yes, there's the next thingy-majiggy. Run. Jump. 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 You recruited a few friends, so they gave you more too. Ah, needies. Gotta love when friends give you shit. Stacked crate. A number of crates and barrels have been stored here. On closer inspection, however, most are empty. These guys are fucking poor. I'm just imagining someone grabbing a tankard and going, "This bitch is empty! Yeet!" Excuse me. We're almost there, chat. Alrighty. Next, there they are. They didn't leave anything. Had a good look around. Then we just need to wait for lists. Alrighty then. Do tell us more. Sorry to keep you waiting, but I wanted to talk to as many people as I could. It's just as Tansui said. They have no intention of standing up to Yotsuyu. I don't know if you two got a different impression. I think the situation is coming to a head. I agree. It's obvious that they are struggling to survive and that they blame the Imperials for their recent troubles. Even if we do nothing, it is inevitable that they will come into conflict with the Empire sooner or later, and deep down, they all know it. The only thing holding them back at the moment is the belief that they lack the strength to survive the coming war. So we need to prove to them that we're not all talk, that we can be valuable allies in the war. And whatever way to demonstrate our worth then by, seeking out people with mundane problems and offering them our expert assistance? Yep, sounds like that's what we're going to be doing. Wouldn't be the first time we've had to earn someone's trust by helping them out with this and that, and you know it won't be the last. I'll look around the west end of Onokoro, you two take the east. Good luck. Yay. Good luck to me. Pick up the Savage Might. And mission complete. Yeah. Alrighty. I have learned the Eastern Bow. Excellent. Okay. I am going to go and end the stream there. Dunk. That is the end for tonight. I did not plan to do anything tomorrow morning or anything like that, I'm sorry to say, but I will get a schedule out for what my streaming looks like for next week. You'll find me normally streaming the Monday, Wednesdays, and most recently Fridays, Saturdays now. So Fridays I normally do Kingdom Hearts. Monday, Wednesday is going to be whatever the F I want to play. So, so yeah, before I go, I just want to make a quick thank you once again for the hype train that got done earlier on. I just want to thank Avalon, Trogodile, and I think there was someone else. Let's see. So, Trogodile, Demon Skull, Avalon, technically Null also did one as an anonymous, and then Avalon and Trogodile again for the gift subs, and, you know, then Avalon again for all the cheers after the hype train. I really appreciate it. It helped me get over the sub goal of being able to reach, like, you know, the minimum payout out for this month, hopefully. I was previously at like 22 like subs in total, and then, you know, thanks to you guys, was able to get up to, I wonder, is there a way of seeing my I'm now up, 41 subs now. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. That should hopefully like get me over the line with the mixture of subs and bits and what have you. All right, let's have a look at who is online and who we can go and raid into. All right, so we got Nanook, who's playing a little bit of Beat Saber. And then we've got... Ooh, we got Puffin. Are they still online right now? Hang on. Yep, they're still online right now. Okay. Okay. Alrighty, we're gonna go and raid into someone named Mix Puffin. They are a really they're a cute little they're a cute little cat. Pissy little cat. We're gonna go raid into them, and how's the Puffington family retreat in... That is going to be our raid message, is how's the Puffington family retreat? Because the plot of the story is that you're apparently, I think you're trying to pick up, you know, some missing Puffington Corporation family member or something or other. So that's going to be our raid message. If you have any emotes, you're welcome to use them. Otherwise, I'm probably going to just use my, my Himbo emotes, which are... Hang on. I'm probably going to use my Himbo emotes. Oh, that's cool that the little emotes like actually rain down on me. That's kind of cool. I didn't know that was going to happen in the program. But yeah, so that's going to be my quote. I will get a stream schedule out out tomorrow or the next day. Otherwise, I just want to say one last time, thank you everyone who came to tonight's stream. I greatly appreciate it, and I hope you all have a wonderful morning, afternoon, or evening. And we'll go raid into Puffin, and I'll see you all next time. Bye for now.